playing well have been the players who've played right through the year. Noel Hickey at full-back, Michael Kavanagh, Peter Barry, Henry Shefflin, Martin Comfort. They were stars in Innocent March, and they're still the stars today. And now DJ's back, adding further to our problems, you know, so we're going to have to play tremendously well to have a chance to win the All-Ireland. Dreams don't happen, you have to work hard for them, and in fairness to our players, they have worked exceptionally hard since the semi-final. They know what's required. Whether we'll be able to do it or not in the day is another question, but we're certainly working towards that.
Yes, there are lines who will be trying to orchestrate matters for Clare this afternoon, along with his fellow selectors John Minogue and Louis Mulqueen. One factor, of course, about this year's All-Ireland hurling final is that it's being played on this new surface here at Croke Park. Well, certainly looks absolutely fantastic, but what is it like to actually play on? Well, to help us answer that question right now is the captain of last year's All-Ireland winners. That's Tommy Dunn of Tipperary, and he's with Ger Canning.
Thank you, Michael. He is indeed here with me, and the rain is still coming down. It's not torrential or anything like that, but Tommy, it is going to influence the game today.
Yeah, there's no doubt, Ger. I mean, the surface is very greasy. You know, we've been lucky over the last number of years. It's mostly been dry when we've played, but today with the new surface, it's going to be very difficult to control the ball, and probably for players to keep their feet.
How do you compare it, Tom? Because you've played here. You know the old surface, you know the new, and you've played Thurles as well. How does this compare? Is there an uneven bounce?
No, in fairness, the surface is fantastic. I think if there was any complaint to be made, it would be that the field is extremely hard underfoot. But the surface is fantastic compared to, you know, if you take into consideration the final we played 12 months ago, the surface was dreadful. The surface is really first class, but the field is very, very hard. And in greasy conditions like today, it is very difficult, you know, first of all, to control the ball and for players to keep their feet.
It's a sand-based surface, essentially, rather than turf.
Yeah, apparently so. I don't know much about you know, what it consists of, but generally the sod doesn't appear to turn. There's no divots taken out of the ground that much, and in dry conditions it's difficult enough to hit a sideline ball and stuff like that, but the ball, it travels very, very quickly off the ground, and I think if the ball bounces in front of goalkeepers at speed, it would be extremely difficult for them to block it.
Final little question, taking a sideline cut, is it difficult?
Well, I find it difficult, but then again, Tony Brown hit a ball over the bar against Clare, I think, in the semi-final. So some players find it more difficult than others. But if the ground is extremely hard like it is here, it's a little bit more difficult than, we'll say, off a normal grass surface.
We'll let you go and enjoy the match.
Thank you, Ger.
Well, before the teams hit the field, what is it like in the dressing room on the day of a big game? Now, who better to tell us that than a man who has been there many times himself? That's the former Clare captain, Anthony Daly, and he's ready to take us through the ritual of the Croke Park dressing room.
Obviously very tense, and different individuals will cope with it in different ways. Some fellas get put on the gear as fast as they can, and they'll get into the warm-up area. Davy Fitz will be in the warm-up area there after 5 minutes. He'll be inside banging the ball, you know. But the other fellas would relax and have a chat, and Ger would always say in our time that there was no panic putting on the gear, and take your time, do whatever you want to do. And some people would be drinking water and chatting and maybe having a banana, things like that. But obviously individuals do different things, and you know, you'd have the fellas who got tagged out quickly and got in. I'd say Davy really springs to mind. Colin Lynch is another guy that got ready quickly and would be ready to go nearly half an hour before we're supposed to be go out, you know, and would be warming up. And other fellas would be chatting, and some fellas would try and take their mind off it completely by talking about something else. You know, you'd have the likes of Niall Gilligan might be having a bit of crack and breaking the ice a little bit, and that would be very welcome for some fellas. Some fellas wouldn't want to know about that. We came here, I don't know how many times, 5, 6 times in my time anyway, you know, and I must admit I togged in the same spot nearly every time, you know. But no, you would have then fellas would tog alongside each other. Small things, funny things, like for the picture outside in the field, Jamesy and Ollie Baker would sit either side of me at every game, and if anyone else was there, they'd tell them get up and move. But it's all up here, sure, with fellas, like, you know, but you didn't want to change what worked the last day. And that's why take any chances. Like, if you had 2 bananas before the semi-final, you definitely would have 2 before the final if you won. Whereas if you lost, if it came the following year, you'd completely do it differently, you know. I think it's a great thing now in these dressing rooms that there's the kind of tunnel effect again. We had it in '95 up in the corner there between the canal end and the Hogan stand, and it was a bit of an anticlimax in the Cusack stand. Leave your dressing room, run down the tunnel, then you have to go up these steps And you know, it took the sting out of it a little bit. It was a great thing to burst onto the field, I think, and fellas love that naturally. There's a bit of a boyhood thing about that you saw the Clare teams of years ago bursting onto Thurles and Limerick and Cork, and I always thought, you know, that was a great way to go, and that was brilliant in '95, absolutely brilliant, the 2 days in '95 to burst out onto the field like that, and you could literally sprint from the dressing room until you were 20 yards out and you'd hit a ball up in the air. You're trying to get a bit of tension out of yourself, I suppose, and have a bit of a sprint for yourself. And, you know, some fellas would saunter out and tip a ball along, and that's just everyone doing their own different way. Everyone has their own way of coping with the tension and the anxiety. But once, you know, the parade is over and the ball is about to be cleaned, then totally focus on what was inside the 4 lines.
Well, Anthony Daly, who can sit back this afternoon, if not entirely relax, watching Clare bid for this year's All-Ireland title. Well, I remember talking to former Welsh rugby great Gareth Edwards at an All-Ireland final years ago, and I asked him how he'd fancy being down on the pitch himself with a hurley stick in his hand. I remember he looked at me and he said, "I certainly wouldn't fancy being down there without a hurley stick in my hand." Well, that stick, of course, so important to each inter-county player and so individual to many of them.
The best ash you could get is growing in a ditch. In my time, the hurley was 38 inches long. It went back to 37 inches long, and now it's gone back to 36 inches long. 70 years ago, yeah. It was the first All-Ireland I saw between Clare and Kilkenny. A very good match and very eagerly fought. And Kilkenny won by 3-3 to 2-3. It was a lovely match, a great match. Goggles Doyle and Larry Blake and all those men, and Matty Power and Laurie Marr and Paddy Whelan and Martin White. All those men were in that great game.
It was a special year in many ways because of my first All-Ireland win. And it was very special insofar as I was playing with some established players, the like of Laurie Marr, Matty Power, Podge Byrne, and they were all established, Peter Riley, they were all established players, and it was a big thing for young fellas to come along and get into a game with them. I played full forward on the Fowler McInerney in 32. I got 2 goals and pointed that, but I have to thank Laurie Marr for the 2 goals. Laurie got the cuts in from under the old Hogan stand, and he cut them in and he put them straight into the square. And I was lucky enough to connect, and kind of a goalkeeper has much chance with the ball like that, you see.
Hurlers of Kilkenny, of you will sing with pride. God bless your bone and muscle, your brave and manly stride. Your name shall ring through Ireland, from Cork to Dublin fair, who proved All-Ireland champion against the boys of the County Clare.
Rémi Dowling, who has been making hurleys for some 60 years, and also there we saw Martin White, and he's a survivor of that 1932 Kilkenny team, which beat Clare by 3-3 to 2-3. Well, those were other days, but the day that's here is the All-Ireland final in both minor and senior.
Lose a couple of times, maybe you begin to doubt yourself and doubt whether, you know, you're good enough again to get back there, and particularly to see you don't get a run in the championship. You know, you're beaten in the first round and that's it. You're out of it first Sunday in June, and you know it's an awful long 12 months to wait for another match. You know, so from that perspective, like, there would be doubts coming into your mind, but fortunately this year with the back door we got the second chance at it, and it's worked out well for us.
Yeah, some of those
didn't get there last year. We were all disappointed. I was actually in New York the time it happened. The All-Ireland was on, and I was gutted that morning just watching in the video with Ken McGrath over there. So just delighted to be back. The whole occasion is brilliant.
It would be great for Sarah and it would be great for all the lads involved with the panel, you know. So Kilkenny will have a lot to say about that, but hopefully, you know, we're hoping for a good day, really.
Yonkers, and we also say hello to Siobhan Lacey and Rosie Hayes, both from Kilkenny, watching the Irish Bar in Perth in Australia, and I hope that you enjoy the big match. Well, here to enjoy it, if he can, with us this afternoon is Ger Loughnane. Pete Finnerty also, of course, still with us. You're getting a little bit nervous now. I'd say the butterflies are beginning to flutter around a bit.
No doubt about it. I'm more nervous today than I was even when I was in the dressing room down there. Because
I've no doubt, because I mean, if you would be doing things if you were in the dressing room.
And this is my first time seeing Clare playing in All Ireland,
course,
you know. So it's a real air of anticipation, you know. But I said when I retired, it was my one ambition was to see Clare coming out in the All Ireland final and winning an All Ireland final here in Croke Park. Well, I'm going to see them coming out anyway. Whether to see them winning or not, we'll have one off another 2 hours. But it's a brilliant occasion. It's fantastic to be here. We didn't think at the start of the year we would be in the All Ireland. Now that we are, we just want everything to go well, and we know we're up against a huge battle. You know, there's no doubt about that. This is going to be a huge Everest for Clare to climb if they're going to win it. But I think they're ready, and I think we're going to have some battle in this game today.
With every passing year, Pete Finnerty, here at Croke Park, the scene is changing because the stadium is changing. And just looking around through the minor match, you know, there will be some eruption of noise here. It was up to 80,000 people greet the two teams.
Yeah, it was always a great occasion to play in Croke Park, don't you know, a great honour for any player. But it's an event now. It's actually a social event that people want to be at. There's people that probably don't follow hurling that come here just for the spectacular review and what we do at half time and honouring the brothers there. That's nice, and it's all part of the carnival atmosphere. But I guarantee you in the dressing room there's no carnival atmosphere at the moment. Players are going through their last preparations now. They're getting psyched in for what they have to do. They'll soon be on the field. They'll get rid of the butterflies and they'll get psyched up for the game. It's all year long it seems to be going right for Clare, and everything seems to be falling into place. And as earlier Ger said, the sequence of events, the way their games came, the way they have improved, and really after the Galway game they seem to up things. Defensively they're very strong, we know that. We know that in the forwards they may lack a bit of shooting skill, but what they lack in shooting skill is their tenacity when they don't have the ball, and that creates the bunching, because instead of getting a 70-yard clearance from the Kilkenny defence today, you're going to get 50, and that's going to be dropping on Shawnee McMahon and players like that, and that'll gather it into the middle, and that's when Clare play their best hurling.
All the banners, of course, all the encouragements for the players. One of the things that I've been hearing, Ger Loughnane, you know, talking to people, or talking to hurling people going to the match, saying Clare need to get a good start, because if Kilkenny get a good start, then they could run away from them. Would you agree with that?
I absolutely agree with that. You know, we got a bad start in the last 2 games. Galway going 6 points ahead. Waterford going 6 points ahead now. If you let Kilkenny go 6 points ahead, next thing to be 1-6 and then to be 2-7 maybe. So Clare must get a good start to this game. That's absolutely vital. Now they know that. They've worked very, very hard on that. I think that at the start of this game today they will just throw off the shackles and they'll play with a freedom maybe that they haven't played with up to now, especially in the forward line. And you must remember, Michael, talent-wise, we have the best forward line we've had in the last 8 years. Talent-wise, every one of them is capable of producing. They're brilliant players. It's just they haven't done it yet collectively. Maybe today would be the day.
Well, today has to be the day to do it, I suppose, Pete.
It has to be the day, but when you look at Clare's performance all year, as we've said, they've given 5 and 6 points away at the beginning of every game, and they've clawed teams back. The forwards have only played in fits and starts. There was no day that 3 forwards played together on any one day. Now, as Ger said, if they come out and take the game to Kilkenny and they start scoring, we have 5 novices out there from Kilkenny. It's a huge occasion. If these guys don't go well, it'll put doubts into the minds of the other, and suddenly Clare are in the game. And if Clare see light of sign of the finishing line, with 5 or 10 minutes to go and there's only a few points in it, they'll dig deep on the reserve. They have Lohan there, he's a huge inspiration at centre back. They have McMahon. They never lose their shape in the defence. They might give away a goal, but they'll be quickly to patch up whatever errors were made. And if it goes down to the wire, you'll be saying that Clare will be the stronger team. But the fear is that Kilkenny will come out in a blaze of glory with these forwards that they have that are capable of scoring from all angles. And if they got on top of Clare, well then their confidence would grow and they'd settle into the game, and they have such shooting power up front, and they have a well-organised defence that if they got ahead, they may go further and further.
Now, just to explain to people who are watching at home just exactly what's happening here at Croke Park at the moment, I can assure you you're missing nothing, because on the big screen here in the stadium, they're just simply taking us through the matches that the two teams have played already. We've actually already seen that here ourselves, and we've had our own paths to the final. That's on the big screen here. We're also waiting for the teams to come out. Now, the next few minutes here at Croke Park, the Clare team is due out, well, very, very shortly at 3:10, it says in the official Clare. The Kilkenny team will follow them 2 minutes later. Then the President of Ireland will arrive and will be introduced to the teams, and then onwards to our Runaveen and, of course, the parade around the stadium. Ger Loughnane, We've talked about Jerry Quinn. Half the country's been talking about Jerry Quinn. Is that a distraction, do you fear, to the important business of the day, which is focusing on the All-Ireland final?
I hate something like that coming up to an All-Ireland. Now, we pulled a few stunts in our time, but it wasn't with anybody who was actually injured. We just didn't know who was going to play. But it can be a huge distraction. We saw the distraction there with the Tipperary mine, or not would he play or would he not play before the game. And the whole thing seemed to impact on all their teams. So time to put that out of their minds now, to concentrate on the collective. It's how the team play today. That's what matters, not on any individual displays. And I mean, our big men today, Brian Lohan, Sean McMahon, Colin Lynch, they are going to be targeted by Kilkenny. They're going to come under huge pressure. And it's how they play more than anybody else. That will be the crucial thing for Clare. Now, also for Kilkenny, how Peter Barry, Henry Shefflin, the spine of their of their team, which has been so brilliant so far, that will have a massive bearing, as will, of course, how Martin Comerford plays and Brian Lohan will go forward. A lot of ifs, ands and buts. They'll be all answered very shortly.
We've had a quiet in the stadium for the last couple of seconds, Ger. It is, of course, the quiet before the storm. Here come Clare. Colin Lynch, of course, will be so important to the midfield battle for Clare today. Gentlemen, we're about to hand over to our commentary team for the afternoon. Before we go, I know, obviously, Joe, you want Clare to win. In your heart, can they do it?
Well, yeah, if I was a neutral, I'd be inclined to, go towards Kilkenny. But I just believe, from the frame of mind the players are in, I said it during the week, they're in the same frame of mind now as they were before some of their greatest victories. And whenever they were in that frame of mind, I never saw them losing. I hope that will continue on today.
Pete Finnerty?
All-Ireland final is all about the frame of mind. Whichever team have the better frame of mind for 70 minutes out there is going to win it. I've said Kilkenny all year. It's difficult to see Clare being able to lift it to that level, to be able to stop all the start players that Kilkenny have. But I'll side with Kilkenny.
And as we hand over, gentlemen, to Cyril Farrell and to Gerard Canning for commentary for the afternoon, here come Kilkenny.
Yes, the Cats are out, ready for the action. We had a little bit of drizzle, as you know, round about 12 o'clock today. The team photograph of the Clare men. But will they be the Guinness All-Ireland Hurling champions for 2002? We'll know by 5 o'clock. Jerry Quinn there, the man about whom there's been so much speculation. They were saying to me in the dressing room that they were going to give him another little test just before he came out onto the field. You can see the left hand there with this special guard, just to try and give him some added protection. At least he'll be able to go up and catch the ball with the right hand. Louis Mulqueen there, one of the 3 selectors, giving him some encouragement. And there's the man about so much has been said over the years. One of the greatest players I think I've ever seen play hurling, DJ Carey. And the rest of his colleagues coming down along there. Jimmy Coogan, the man who's got the nod to start today, scorer of a goal and a point in that marvellous semi-final against Tipperary. 79,000 people are here at Croke Park, ready to witness what they hope will be a stirring contest. James McGarry taking his place there in the middle of that front formation alongside DJ Carey. They've got a bench rich in talent, rich in experience as well. And I think it's fair to say, Cyril, that this could be a fascinating match.
Yeah, Joe, we need a right good game, because the minor game, actually, like Kilkenny won it so well, it wasn't a real contest as such. Tip just never performed. And I'd say definitely Tip got kind of, sucked in during the week with all the controversy. Now, it's so, I'd say, Jerry, those people in Clare wanted the very same thing. A lot of talk about Jerry Quinn all week, and now he's playing. It's just, hoping for Clare's sake that they weren't sucked into it either. But, it's going to be a fantastic game, Ger. Kilkenny look to be the ones that are going to win it.
Cyril Lyons there, of course, the manager of this Clare team. He's done so well. Let's check the teams. Well, Clare had always this one major concern following the break to Jerry Quinn's hand. But this is the team they're putting out. As you can see, Jerry is starting wearing the number 7 shirt. It's Davy Fitzgerald's 40th championship match. As usual, the Lowlands are central to Clare's defensive strategy, with Sean McMahon a most impressive centre-half back. After that, it's a case of how Colin Lynch does in midfield, plus the form of Jamesy O'Connor on the wing. Mind you, it could be the All-Ireland final that somebody like Alan Markham or Niall Gilligan will come along, grab by the scruff of the neck and make a major imprint. Time will tell. Let's have a look at the subs that Cyril Lyons is able to pick from at any stage during the course of the game. And of course they include in there, as you can see, Ollie Baker, number 21, vastly experienced player. And he was one of the considerations that if Jerry Quinn failed to make it, that they might switch things around a little bit, put John Redden left half and put Ollie back into midfield to resume his partnership with Colin Lynch. There's Brian Lohan, just getting the stretching all done. Brian won the man of the match in the league final of 1995 against Kilkenny. They lost that day, but he won the award, and Clare went on in leaps and bounds. Well, Kilkenny omit Charlie Carter and Brian McAvoy from their starting 15. Still, it's a most potent formation. That full back line has been steadied in recent years, and the inclusion there of Philly Larkin in the corner. Peter Barry is playing brilliantly at centre half. Andy Comerford has Derek Ling once again for company in midfield. Henry Shefflin, with 26 points for the year so far, is on the 40, while the inclusion of Jimmy Coogan brings new expectations to a forward line that includes one of the greats of modern-day hurling, and that, of course, is DJ, top of the left. Brian Cody, who was marvellous full-back in his time and has done a right good job taking this Kilkenny team to yet another final. And in there among the substitutes, John Power is number 19, Charlie Carter, we mentioned him, of course, as well. And they've also got Sean Dowling, who's been used quite a bit of the time in the campaign so far. Now let's just see who's going to win the toss. The two captains, of course, Brian Lohan and Andy Comerford. Interesting story about that league final between the same two teams here. At the end of it, you may remember that the great Jerry Loughnane said, "I think we can win the Munster Championship," after they'd lost the league final. And I asked Cyril Lyons during the week, "Did you believe it?" And he was in the dressing room that day. He said, "Frankly, no."
Yeah, but Ger did believe, because that day, I talked to him afterwards above in his hotel that day, Ger, that he believed he had 12 good enough, and he told me he had another one at home. That left him with 13 players. It was a day that Frank Lohan came on as sub. And like Kilkenny that day got some fantastic goals to win the match, and like he was quite confident that they could win the Munster title. That was the belief Ger brought in. A lot of that team are still there, Ger. A lot of that Clare team, and that this confidence seems to have rubbed off on the young fellas coming in. But for Kilkenny today, they'll have to get on top of the likes of Brian Lohan and Sean McMahon, especially Brian Lohan. He's been dominating play from full-back and actually setting up attacks from full-back. So like, it'll be interesting to see what they're going to do with him today. If they can win that battle there, it'll more than go and win the match for Kilkenny.
Well, we heard the great Jerry Loughnane say in our panel discussion a little while ago that the opening, say, 20 minutes of this game could be critical. Clare cannot afford to go too far behind at any stage.
Yeah, Jerry, in training they've kind of talked about it and, you know, kind of worked out how can they start faster, because both against Waterford and Galway, they started very slow. We're down to 5 or 6 points. Now they've had great recoveries, but the feeling is that if they give this 5 or 6 points lead to Kilkenny will still good enough to get an odd score here and there to keep in front. Now what they're going to try to do is to hit Kilkenny hard early on, and for once for them to start the game fast and for them to take the lead, to lead from the front.
One thing that has impressed me when you look at both of these counties and the great success they've had in recent years, say going back to 95 and so on, it's how the young players that you mentioned can come into the team with experienced guys in there, like the likes of Brian Lohan, Sean McMahon, Jamesy, of course, as well on one side, and then of course you've got loads of experience as well over on the Kilkenny team. And it seems like they've been able to... Hello. What number is he wearing?
That could be the lucky mascot, Ger.
Well, somebody says he's a golden retriever. Having a golden retriever of my own, I can tell you, doesn't look one bit like that. He's gone in to get the ball, and somebody else has gone in to get the dog, and that's the end of that. I don't think the dog had a ticket anyway.
Well, if you had, Ger, he'd get a lot of money for it. But going back, Ger, to the new people coming in, like Kilkenny have 3 new forwards with the championship today. You have Jimmy Coogan, you have Eddie Brennan, you have Martin Comfort. Now, a lot will depend on how these new guys goes in. Where you have on the Clare team, new guys such as Jerry Quinn, Tony Griffin, Tony Carmody. These are all new to the scene as such. And David Toy is new as well, but he's very experienced because he comes from the Dura Bearfield Cup, and they've won a couple of All-Irelands, and he's steady with McMahon. Mightn't do any spectacular, but usually holds his own zone.
I suppose the point I was trying to make was that it's great the way the experienced men have been able to almost put a comforting arm around the younger fellas coming through and bring them through gently, because change is such a vital thing in all kinds of sport, and that has happened, and happened really well. The teams are lined up now to meet the President of Ireland, President Mary McAleese. So the red carpet's in place, as you can see, for this 115th All-Ireland hurling final. And aside from 2 recent All-Ireland semi-finals, they made in some stirring league finals in the mid to late 80s, of course, as well. Clare winning 2 of the 3 contests. Kilkenny's win was by 6-14 to 114. Sean McCaig, Uachtaráin Cumann Luca Squell, accompanying the President. This is the first part of the ceremonial. President McAleese, who's a huge sports star, and a huge sports fan, I should say, and a star, I'm sure, as well, accompanied by her husband, Martin, in the background there. Smiling Sean McCaig, and it's, first of all, Brian Lohan, who's going to introduce his Clare colleagues. A bit of rain beginning to fall once again, as you'll gather. Colin Lynch there, who'll be operating in midfield, wearing the number 9 shirt. Alan Markham next. Al Gilligan there as well. David Ford, the last one. Then our match referee, who's Eldon Moxine, the Kaintoro Gukus, Barrow Blaclia, Horde, Joe Harrington there as well, and the other officials all having the opportunity to meet our president on this very special day. Well, it started as a gentle mist, now it's become a little bit heavier. Andy Comerford then, next man in, and he is going to introduce all his colleagues, starting with James McGarry and Michael Kavanagh, Billy Larkin there. That's Richie Mullally coming up next. Peter Barry, the redhead, wearing a black helmet a little bit later on. JJ Delaney. And down through the rest of them there. Last man to meet the president will be DJ Carey himself.
This is the departure that players like. They might let on, they might say they like, but in actual fact they don't like it at all. They much prefer to get warmed up and get moving.
All-Ireland hurling final for 2002. Rain still coming down. The respective teams following the Artane School of Music. A mixture of bands, and there's Andy Comerford, very proud man to be leading out his side today. It's his 24th championship match. So much always expected of the Cats of Kilkenny. Incidentally, Kilkenny have won the toss and they will play from right to left in the first half. The breeze is really inconsequential. The teams are getting a magnificent ovation. The fans have come here full of hope, full of expectation, here to enjoy the day. It's something really special, but Cyril, it brings with it itself enormous pressure, surely.
Yeah, there is a lot of pressure on the players and on the manager. You'll find during in the parade that usually the player from behind will talk to the player in front about anything as such, just to keep it concentrated, because it's important that they focus on the game, not to get too, not to be looking up to the stands and kind of getting distracted. Whoever gets that ball, it's all about getting to the ball in front now.
I was noticing the teams last Sunday here in the second of the football semi-finals, and when they were in the parade they were just passing the bottles of water around to one another. It's not actually happening today, but then it's cooler, and maybe they've taken plenty of liquid on board already. Plenty of water bottles in the dressing rooms beforehand. Incidentally, Kilkenny were the first to arrive here. They arrived about 2:15. Everybody had their little rub and their usual preparation, the usual little things that players tend to go to and through in advance of the match. Some with little superstitions about whether you put on the jersey last or your left boot on last. And it was Clare who arrived then, round about 10 to 3, quarter to 3, 10 to 3. At which stage we were not 100% sure whether Jerry Quinn was going to play or not, but he has been confirmed as a starter. I suppose the point was made in the last couple of days, if you're going to play him at all, you might as well play him from the start.
Yeah, Jerry looked well in training in the last about 2 weeks in the training session with Clare as such, and they worked him hard during the week, and I suppose like they felt that if he was fit enough, better off to start him than bring him on. He's very, very committed player. He's physically very fit. Now whether his hands in to stand up to it or not is another thing, but you know, he's a very good player, and he's going to be tested, because you'll find that Kilkenny will put a lot of high ball down on top of him. Be interested to see how he gets on early on.
Certainly will. So on a fairly still but dull afternoon here in Dublin, it's a match we hope you will share with us between now and 5 o'clock. The culmination of a year's hurling. And as Cyril was saying a little while ago, I think we do need a big final. We need a really good final. So the next piece of work for the Artane band will be the national anthem. It is Kilkenny who go up to the goal on our right. And usually, of course, the players tend to get into a little huddle. Final last word of encouragement, maybe a word of inspiration from the team captains. And nobody wants to give away whether they're going to play in their exact position. Rivishin, Tommy Dollov, quick, out on the beam. The anthem sung by Paul Byram. Very fine tenor indeed. So who's it to be? It's time to go. 70 minutes of action coming up. A pensive Andy Comerford. Into midfield there, alongside Derek Ling, up against John Redden and Colin Lynch. Lynch wearing number 9. Edon Moxidna gets it underway. And straight away Kilkenny with John Hoyne trying to set something up. Doesn't quite come off for him. Second opportunity, Peter Barry. Into the corner here towards Eddie Brennan. People felt his position might be under threat, but he's there. He's a speed merchant. This is another speed merchant, Niall Gilligan. Ripped away there by J.J. Delaney. Good hand pass into space. Opportunities for Kilkenny to launch a first decent attack. That was in by DJ Carey. Clare trying to get it away. In the end, Ger Harrington here, the linesman, saying that's going to be a line ball down for Clare. Curious that during the parade time, just to make sure it kept nice and dry. Still in play. Peter Barry going back onto the loose ball. Having support there with Noel Hickey doesn't require it just yet. But pressurised. And it's going to be a sideline ball.
Yeah, Jerry, you're going to find with a little bit of rain as well that the ground is very hard and the rain is going to make it very slippy on top. You'll find players probably losing their feet.
James McGarry issuing the instructions. Colin Lynch coming up to hit this one. Tommy Dunn was telling me a little while ago that there were certain difficulties with this new surface, taking sideline cuts. Tony Brown of Waterford hit one superbly over the bar in a recent match. Let's see how Colin Lynch does here. About 23 metres out from the end line. Caught it well, but misdirected it. First wide of the match for Clare. Lynch can be such an influential player in midfield, in there alongside John Redden. Redden's a big, tall fellow. Versatile player. James McGarry, cousin, of course, of DJ Carey. And another sideline Pat Horan on this occasion. Man from Offaly on the line this afternoon over there. Rain seems to be easing a little bit. Frank Lowen hitting it up there well. Richie Mullally, great take. Nicely down here towards Henry Shefflin. What a battle he's going to have with Sean McMahon. It's starting already. Thundering forward, looking for the opening score. It's a goal!
Beautiful cross ball. Henry Shefflin got across and DJ just tapped it down into the net.
What a start that is. DJ Carey with yet another championship goal, and only 3 minutes are gone. It was this marvellous run here by Henry Shefflin, getting away there from Sean McMahon, and a little touch in, delightfully done by DJ Carey. The master strikes. Worth looking at again, stealing it on the blind side, doing really well. Well, the programmes are coming in handy if the rain starts to pour down a little more. It's eased a little, it's not as bad as it was. There's Philly Larkin. Philly, third generation of the Larkins to play championship hurling and play in the All-Ireland final. Brian Lowen. Kilkenny getting off to an excellent start. Just needing to settle down a little bit. That's Jamesy O'Connor, of course. And they're trying to stop the approach play here of Derek Ling, doing so illegally. And it's going to be a free hit.
Kilkenny had made a start that Clare didn't actually want them to make. They were talking about starting fast, but you're going to find that this will be over the bar as well. The ground is very, very slippy down there, Ger.
It's going to be Henry Shefflin to strike this one. Will this be point number 27 for the year in the championship? It is. His first free. Well, what a big game he's already playing, and we're only still inside the first 5 minutes of this match, and Brian Cody must be very pleased. Henry scoring the point and making the goal. On his way, perhaps, to being named Hurler of the Year as well. Richie Mullally down as far as Andy Comerford on his left-hand side, dropping it down towards DJ Carey. Big battle there between DJ and Brian Quinn. Belted away this time by David Hoey. A little bit of pulling and dragging there. Tony Carmody felt he was being held. It'll be a line ball. And the linesman, Ger Harrington, has just seen the flag part come away from the stick. Both have now been reunited, and he's back in business. Here's Philly Larkin. Good cut. Going back there was John Redden that time, couldn't take it. Instead away comes Martin Comerford. Jersey pulled, still manages to get the space at the time to strike it and put it over the bar. That is a great point. They're pleased. Comerford making it 1-2 to no score.
Yeah, Gerard, Kilkenny are actually attacking Clare, where Clare very strong. Here you see him coming through here. He should have got a foul because he's actually been pulled there. Still great score from Martin Comfort, but they're actually going down the middle. They're taking on Brian Lohan and Shawnee McMahon.
Well, this is precisely the start that Clare dreaded. They're now going to be playing catch-up, and even when you feel that they might get back into it a little bit more, Kilkenny have the capacity in the forwards to still strike a point or two.
Yeah, but one thing is, Gerard, to be fair to Clare, they've done this all year and they've come back from the dead.
Cyril Lyons there, as you can see, hooked up with another one of the selectors sitting up in the stands, getting an aerial view of what's happening. And this is what he's seeing. Another Kilkenny attack. Martin Comerford in there chasing after this one, but it's Brian Lohan who's in the commanding situation. Fouled, and it's going to be a free out for Clare. First All-Ireland senior final for Eardor Moxivna to take charge of. Well, they're bringing out Davy Fitzgerald to hit this free. Whipped way downfield. Alan Markham coming towards it. Markham today wearing the number 12 shirt. Kishik watching on there. Interesting that Jamesy O'Connor has switched wings, but JJ Delaney, his marker this afternoon, has gone across and followed him. Colin Lynch dropping it in there. Clare needing a score just to settle them down. Still working. Still trying to set something up, but it's stopped by Derek Ling this time. Anno belted well into midfield. Good contest. Alan Markham here. And who scored that great goal in the last match here at Croke Park for the Clare hurlers. Towards Gilligan this time. Hands and knees job. Still opportunities presenting. The man in the corner there is David Ford, and that's gone for a 65. Well, Ford is one of those players who can pop up and get a couple of great scores, but perhaps needs a little bit more consistency in his play. James McGarry taking no chances. Sean McMahon has this marvellous record, of course, in the championship. 62 points so far in championship hurling, and you can now make that 63. Huge cheer. They'll feel a bit better now, the fans, and the team may settle a bit more. It's 1-2 to just a point. McGarry from the Bennett's Bridge Club. Famous club. John Redden watches it drop over his shoulder, one-handed away by Shawnee McMahon. Up in there. Belted across there. It was intended for Jamesy O'Connor, but nothing comes of it, and instead it's Michael Kavanagh. Lovely, tidy and economical player. Andy Comerford driving it, but he's driven it well to the left.
Jerry, yeah, there's a small breeze after picking up, and like whatever it is, Kilkenny would have in the first half.
Well, Cyril will be hoping that his side just settles down a little bit more, get him a few more scores, build on their confidence. Davy Fitzgerald. Usually very good at placing his puck outs. Was Jamesy O'Connor. Following there is JJ Delaney. Comerford can't take it up. Hoyne was coming in on it. Left it behind. Instead it's Brian Lohan, and the referee's whistle has sounded, and it's going to be a free in. It's a third man tackle. That's the referee's interpretation of that piece of action.
That's right, George. A third man tackle by Frank Lohan. Wasn't Brian. Brian's wondering what was wrong. Brian had not to do it, just Frank that up into the player.
So Davy Fitz waits, pacing up and down the line there. Tends to get a little bit nervous before matches, but soon finds his confidence and his best form. And Henry Shefflin is certainly illustrating his stick work. From that second free, he's got 2 points out of 2. Well, this could be one of the key tussles in the match between Henry Shefflin and Shawnee McMahon. Peter Barry driving it down. Shefflin again coming forward. It's one-handed forward this time by John Redden. Derek Ling. Onto it comes Tony Carmody. Into the corner towards David Ford. Chasing after him is Michael Kavanagh. And the referee blowing his whistle and indicating that it's going to be a line ball. There's a bit of a pushing and jostling going on there as well. Michael Kavanagh to take this one. Nicely hit towards Andy Comerford. Andy just staying behind his man there, who's Colin Lynch. Everybody trying to roll it up onto the stick. We were speaking about the surface earlier on. A little greasy today. And Kilkenny come once again. That was the fullback Noel Hickey. Michael Kavanagh driving it away down towards Eddie Brennan. Comerford's there as well. Shefflin coming onto it, 45 metres out from goal. A huge one, a high one. The umpires have a little think about it, and in the end decide it's a point. That's 3 points now for Henry Shefflin. 2 from frees, 1 from play there, and 1-4 to a point. And Kilkenny have made the perfect start to this match. Comerford was breaking it, Shefflin was coming onto it. Great strike.
Yeah, Joe, they're putting pressure down on Sean McMahon and Brian Lohan and waiting on the breaks.
Well, their pressure play is working handsomely so far. Billy Larkin trying to take it. Instead, there's an opportunity here for a Clare point, and Tony Griffin has got it. Just a moment's hesitation there on the part of the Kilkenny backs, and that was enough to leave Griffin into the space here, and it was a nicely taken point. They need more than that. Still a lot of time to play, even in this first half. But once again, there was an opportunity for Kilkenny to build, and DJ Carey, he had Coogan outside him. Good robbery, good dispossession. 3 of them getting there together. Comerford's coming in for Kilkenny. Everybody trying to roll it up. David Hoy was about as well. And it's Hoy who belts it way downfield. Billy Larkin getting out ahead of his man. Well, Gilligan was trying to get that ball forward into the corner there towards Tony Griffin. No such luck. Richie Mullally out here into the centre. Derek Ling, that familiar style, the style we've become very accustomed to this year. And here is Henry Shefflin. Shefflin scores! But it's over the bar. Thought he was going to bury it.
Fantastic save by David Fitzpatrick in the back of the net. Shefflin is cutting down the middle, getting on the breaks. Great save.
Well, full credit to Davy Fitzgerald. Watch it again here. Shefflin bearing in on goal. He had support, didn't need it. But that's a flashing save there by Fitzgerald to put it over the bar and prevent a certain goal for Kilkenny.
He did the right thing, Gerald, because if he blocked it out, there was 2 Kilkenny forwards loose.
Andy Comerford's watching this, so too is Colin Lynch. Lynch touching it down, needing a bit of assistance. Jerry Quinn's over there, and that's going to be a free to Clare. So many players in the past have been injured in the run-ups to All-Ireland finals. How good it is that Jerry is able to take his place. No matter what happens, he'll always be able to remember this particular Sunday in September 2002. Shawnee McMahon ready to drive this one. It's 65 metres out. I'm sure he'll go for the score. He does, and he's got it. So 2 points from frees from Sean McMahon. The only other scorer has been Tony Griffin so far, and nearly 16 minutes are gone.
He's done this so often, you know, to keep them in the game. This is a great save here, because if he can back out, he did the right thing by tipping over the bar. If he can back out, there's 2 Kilkenny forwards on their own.
He's so agile, Davy Fitzgerald. Really confident goalkeeper once he establishes his presence on the field and overcomes those nerves. Line ball to Clare. He wants a few more scores, I'm sure, for his team. Frank Lowen over there, ready to cut this one up. David Ford trying to get in on the blind side, so too is James O'Connor. Back there, Michael Kavanagh, it's blocked down well. And the little push there, I think, on Noel Hickey. Might have been a free, but it's a line ball instead.
At the moment, Clare are starting to take the game to Kilkenny to come into it a little bit more.
Well, they had that horrible start. The goal by DJ Carey after just 3 minutes for Brian Cody's team. Brian in behind the goal now with a word for his defence. Colin Lynch. Jimmy Griffin was trying to get there. Instead, it's Kavanagh flying once again. Nicely outside there to Peter Barry. Driven way downfield. Clare trying to repel the Kilkenny advance. Line ball. I think the neutrals, if there are any neutrals at all in Croke Park, are hoping for a few more Clare scores. Andy Comerford ready to take this. Really well done. Martin Comerford presents a very physical presence up front there. This is Sean McMahon. Swept back out. Comerford's waiting for it to come his way. Bounces unkindly. Has support. Doesn't need it. In he goes with the shoulder there. Did well. That was against Markham. Barry way downfield. Broken down once again here. And this is David Hoey. Very good wing back for Clare. But Kilkenny are off once again, and it's Derek Ling. Played inside here. This was intended for Jimmy Coogan. Nothing comes of it. Brian Quinn instead. Clare's right corner back, Sean McMahon. Driving away downfield. His clearances could be so important this afternoon. Clare need to get possession. Scoring chances, few and far between, as Niall Gilligan is grounded and Eadon McSeven says that's going to be a free in. And I'm sure Sean McMahon will come up to take it. Here it is again. Andy Comerford swinging the full forward around. And the referee, I think, has noted his number. A little ticking there for the Kilkenny captain. Ollie Baker being prepared.
Yeah, Gerard, Clare will feel that the game is kind of slipping away from them as such. Okay, they're just 5 points down, but in general play they're not scoring that much. They're dependent on Sean McMahon again, and while he has scored 2 already, like, it's still terrible pressure on him because that's a long-range free.
It's a long-range free, but it's inside the 65-metre line, and he's well capable of pointing this. The umpires have a look at it, and there's a white flag, and it's another point for Clare. He's their leading scorer. Only one of the forwards has scored. And John Redden, I think, is the man who's being withdrawn from midfield. And there's a big cheer now because of the arrival of Ollie Baker. Well, we know he's a man for the big occasion. Has been since 1995. That famous goal against Cork that set the run going. That eventually resulted in Clare winning a rare All-Ireland title. So first change of the match has been made. The selectors took under 20 minutes to make that little switch. Will it be a crucial one? Ling getting it forward. Sean McMahon bending. Challenged by Henry Shefflin. Played outside to Hoey. Colin Lynch flicks it forward. Andy Comerford tries to take command of the situation. All a bit hasty. No great pattern. And Ollie Baker in the end chops down. I think it's Ollie. But I guess when you just come off the bench and you're annoyed about not being played in the team from the word go, your frustration can build up, I guess. And he certainly is fired up. DJ Carey, I think, is the one who's got an injury here which needs attention. Team doctor is Dr. Tyke Crowley, originally from Tralee. So a hand injury across the knuckles, I think he got that.
What will be interesting now, Ger, see who'll take this free. DJ would have been the long-range free taker, but with his hand after getting the bet, it'd probably be Henry Shefflin come to take it.
Well, let's look at it again here. DJ, as you can see, was fouled. It was Jamesy O'Connor, I think, who made the contact with him, not Ollie Baker.
Yeah, you're right, Ger.
Well, DJ's okay. Hand must be in good shape because he's ready to take this long-range free just outside that 65-metre line. I'm sure he'll go for it. He is, he does, and he has got it. That's a goal and a point now for DJ Carey. 1-6 to 4 points. Still only 5 points in it.
It's nothing in hurling, Ger.
Richie Mullally can't take it. Pressure is on. Ollie Baker's over there against Michael Kavanagh. Kavanagh's a great player. Outside to Mullally once again. The hurler and the footballer. Henry Shefflin challenging for this one with Sean McMahon. Coming forward here, Eddie Brennan. Again, Clare managed to get possession. Can't do an awful lot with it. But at least they will have a sideline ball.
Yeah, they were putting the Kilkenny forwards are putting them under a really lot of pressure and getting hooks and blocks in.
It's all part of the spade work of this game. So necessary. Hoey. And again, it's Clare who tried to build up a head of steam and get something going. David Ford is the one who's ended outside the playing surface. Fouled, free in. Hasn't been a particularly free-flowing match so far.
Yeah, Ger, there's a lot of tension and the players really, it hasn't opened up at all as such. Like, Kilkenny will be happy to be that bit in front, but like, they are the 5 points up, but with all the play they have, like, they're not that far gone, and Clare just hanging in there, which they've done all year.
Well, it has been a feature of Clare's play, as you say. This to be taken by Niall Gilligan, former All-Star. It's a day when he needs to really produce something special, but on this occasion, he has driven it to the left. But they have the forwards there. We know that in the past. People like Jamesy and Alan Markham, well capable of getting scores, and David Ford, of course, as well. David Hoey touching it down here. Going in there with the clash was Colin Lynch. So another opportunity for Kilkenny to build an attack here. Andy Comerford, their team captain. Nicely done. Brian Lohan having his difficulties there at times with Martin Comerford. And that's Eddie Brennan. And Brennan has hit it, and he's put it over the bar. Dublin-based Garda, Eddie Brennan, plays for the Graig Valley Callan Club. And the defiant fist thing there, I think, saying to his colleagues, come on, we can do it. But it was when Lohan was beaten and the ball wasn't cleared properly, Brennan was in.
That's the big thing, Ger. They're not letting Brian Lohan settle in the ball and drive forward with the attacks for Clare. All the last few games, Lohan has been the first man to attack for Clare. He just can't get into his hand and attack forward, so they'll be quite happy to keep him, to keep him at bay.
Jamesy O'Connor needs attention there from Pádraig Quinn, their team doctor. But it is noticeable that where Kilkenny are concerned, the first man in their defence is essentially the number 15 and 14 and 13. In other words, their full forward line. It's pressure play, it's power pressure play at that. Jamesy's okay. But after 25 minutes play, only one of the Clare forwards has managed to score, and that's Tony Griffin. And it simply isn't good enough to be just on 4 points still. David Ford swinging it across here. But there's an awful lot of work just to keep that ball in play, and they failed to do so. There was nothing that Tony Griffin could manage. Just not happening up front for Clare. It'll be interesting in the next couple of minutes to see just what kind of ball Ollie Baker and Colin Lynch can manage to win in midfield. Clearly a key area in their team. Richie Mullally. Possession taken up here. That's David Hoey. Swung in there dangerously and high and over the bar. Colin Lynch, the man we were talking about there, can he exert the kind of influence that we know he's capable of? If the old firm of Lynch and Baker can strike the form we know they're well capable of, anything could happen in this All-Ireland final. That was a great score.
Well, you have the crowd getting behind Clare at the moment to come right into the game.
Batted down once again here, this time towards Tony Griffin. That's Richie Mullally. Away on the solo once again, and he was tripped. Colin Lynch protesting his innocence, but it's going to be a free. And DJ Carey is coming across to take this one. Just inside the 65-metre line, but only metres from the far sideline.
The two Clare wing backs here have changed as well. You have Hoey and Quinn just changed wing. Hoey's gone over to the left wing.
So can DJ add to his tally of a goal and a point in this Guinness All-Ireland hurling final? Whatever little breeze is there, it's behind Kilkenny. The rain has stopped, the sun has come out, and DJ is once again demonstrating just part of a wonderful range of skills that the man possesses. 1-2 for DJ out of 1-8. And DJ has come out to left half forward, and I noticed that Brian Quinn has followed him out there.
Yeah, you're probably going to find here after the free when the play settles down, he'll go back in again.
He's a man who can play anywhere. This is JJ Delaney. Interesting ball inside here. Taken out there by Jerry Quinn. Jerry momentarily playing at right corner back. Oh, just fell away from Colin Lynch. Peter Barry in with the challenge. So too was Ollie Baker. DJ, jersey was pulled. Comerford. Little tap inside there, in towards his brother Martin. And once again, Sean McMahon. Loose player here is Alan Markham. David Ford races after it. Also there, Tony Carmody. And the fullback, who's Noel Hickey. Play breaks down momentarily. Another chance for Clare this time. And it's Niall Gilligan going for the point, gets the score. That's his first. Only the second of the forwards for Clare to score in this match with nearly 30 minutes gone. And Cyril Lyons urges his men on even more. Greater effort required. That was a great point. Well, he'll be very pleased with that. And again, only 5 points between the teams. If Clare can establish a greater footing, say, and a command in midfield and in their own half-back line, anything could happen. Richie Mullally this time driving it in towards DJ Carey, breaks it down. Hoey trying to get it. Carey has it instead. Could be in the clear again. Can't strike the shot in, however. Good Clare covering, and they managed to get it out and managed to get it away. Philly Larkin there against Alan Markham. Larkin with Niall Gilligan racing after him. Philly Larkin outside towards Andy Comerford, going for the score. It's a big one, it's a huge shot from way out the field, and he's put it over. Under immense pressure. That's great leadership, and that was a wonderful score.
Yeah, Joe, great score by Comerford, but it was really Philly Larkin that made it. It was a catch by Larkin, good hand pass, where it is on the outside. Andy has a look up, got one or two of the last as well, and just flicked it over the bar.
The big men for this Kilkenny team are certainly turning it on. Big pressure on them coming into the match. Favourites in the minds of many, many people. James O'Connor hasn't settled into the game at all so far. A push in the back there by Markham. Here's Jamesy. Perhaps this will be the time when he'll turn it on for the Clare men. Little darting run. He's taken down. Free in from 45 metres out. Jamesy, a man who did so much to establish this Clare team in the mid-90s. There was a ticking there, and it is against Peter Barry. Jamesy O'Connor striking and putting it over well. Good accuracy by Jamesy O'Connor.
So far, Jerry, every time that Clare have tacked on a point, Kilkenny have hit back and just hold the 5 or 6 points gap. It's important now that Clare don't let Kilkenny get the next score.
But that 5-point gap is there almost the whole time.
So far.
James McGarry waiting for the signal. Straight down the centre towards Henry Shefflin. Run is beyond him this time. Brian Lohan has discarded the red helmet. That's Ollie Baker getting it back towards his team leader. Brian Lohan down towards Niall Gilligan. Runs on towards David Ford instead. Out by Philly Larkin. Richie Mullally trying to take it up. This is Tony Carmody on his left-hand side. He strikes it, but he strikes it wide. Hasn't had too many chances. That's the 3rd wide for Clare so far in the match. They really are looking for something special from the likes of Tony Carmody here and David Ford, the 2 men who are playing in the corner. Indeed, in the last couple of minutes, Carmody has gone into full forward and Markham has gone to top up the right. Henry Shefflin couldn't take it. Belted forward once again. Peter Barry put under pressure. Centre half back needing some assistance. Here comes Ollie Baker trying to hand pass it into the clear, losing his stick. We'll race to collect this one. And inevitably, it is young Noel Hickey down towards Henry Shefflin. Henry is held back. There are occasions in this match when he's just been creating havoc. Foul this time by Colin Lynch. So his number is noted as well by the referee. I haven't seen any yellow cards so far, but a number of players have made their way into the referee's programme. Next offence, and it would be a card. There'll be 1 extra minute to be played at the end of this first half, which I think is yet to really spring to life, as DJ Carey hits it and puts it over. A goal and 3 points now for DJ, the goal coming early in the game, and that's 3 points out of 4 shots so far. So nearly at the end of the 35 in this first half as Davy Fitzgerald tucks way out. Glorious sunshine now at Croke Park. Andy Comerford opting to kick this time into the corner. Another surging run here by Eddie Brennan. Great play. John Hoyne is there. Is it Jimmy Coogan? I think it's Coogan who's got it. He switched wings, came onto it very well indeed. Nice hand pass, good delivery by Brennan on to Jimmy Coogan, and he's off the mark as well. His first point of the game so far.
Yeah, Gerard, it was Brennan's pace as such, and Coogan just made sure, he hasn't been in the game as such, he made sure to take his point.
Well, Kilkenny scoring chances so far, 13. Clare scoring chances, 10. And you can see Kilkenny have taken 12 of their 13 scoring opportunities. Wonderful record. Clare coming again. They need a goal. They get a point instead.
They took a very fast sideline ball there. The Kilkenny backs were caught napping. That could have been in the back of the net.
Well, Niall Gilligan was coming onto it, and it is 1-11 to 8 points late in this first half. This injury time point set up by Colin Lynch, finished by Niall Gilligan. That's his second of the day. They need a lot more. They could have done with a goal in that particular instance. McGarry's puck, huge delivery, wonderful drive. McMahon raises the right hand. They need assistance and support coming from Brian Quinn. Tapped away there by David Hoey. Chasing after him is Henry Shefflin. Slipping and sliding. Kilkenny looking for a late score at the end of the first half. Instead, it's David Hoey driving it down towards David Ford. Richie Mullally has it for Kilkenny. Andy Comerford just looking around to see is there anything on. And the referee has blown his whistle. End of the first half in this 115th All-Ireland hurling final. DJ Carey, a goal after 3 points. 3 other frees pointed as well. Kilkenny have had the better of the exchanges. Clare have been slow to settle. And at half-time, it's Kilkenny 111. Clare are 8 points. So let's just see whether we can get some comment at the end of that first half. Let's go down to the sideline and to our reporter, who's Marty Morrissey.
We won the first half, but there's no point in saying we won the first half. We have to win the second half. We'll be going out to win the second half. We didn't play particularly well. I think we have 3 forwards playing okay. We have 3 forwards not playing as well. So we'll be expecting more over forwards, to be quite honest.
But even when Clare put pressure on you, Michael Kavanagh and Philly Larkin are doing very well at cornerback.
Yeah, the backs are keeping it tight, keeping it very tight. But we've still slipped up once or twice there and let Clare in. They could have got a goal there in the last movement, and we're just lucky that they didn't.
Confident that you can bring home Liam McCarthy?
I'll tell you at the end of 72 or 3 minutes, Marty.
Thank you very much, Noel.
Well, that's the view of the Noel Skehan chairing the selectorial duties, along with Brian Cody, of course, and Johnny Walsh as well. So he says they've a lot to do. He says 3 forwards playing well, 3 forwards not playing well, didn't reveal the identities, and we're looking forward to the second half after this.
57-171-14 from the Republic. Calls at 74 cents per minute. And if you call it from Northern Ireland, it's 0906 614 2048 at 60 pence per minute. Those phone lines will be open until 8 o'clock this evening. And the man of the match will be announced in our later programme, of course, our coverage of the All-Ireland final later on. Now let's take a look at the statistics from the first half of the game. Kilkenny leading Clare by 111 to 8 points at half-time. You can see the rest of the stats for yourself. Can I just, while we're looking at those, mention the Tracy's of Ballyduff. We've been asked to say hello to them. And also to Mary Conlon, who is a great Clare supporter. Unfortunately, Mary is in St John's Hospital in Limerick today watching the match. That message comes from all the Clare team to you, Mary. And they say, mind the stitches. Mind the stitches. Mind the DJ Carey goals.
Yeah, and mind the centre of that Clare defence. It needs to stand up. We had said before the game that Kilkenny's tactic was going to be attack Clare's big players. Shawnee, Brian Lohan, Colin Lynch. And that's exactly what they did. Down the centre with most attacks. And the great thing about him is that winning ball in the air. Now here we have Henry Shefflin when he's set. Now look at the pace, the way he gets past Shawnee. How many times have Kilkenny done this? A cross ball and DJ comes in the far side and flicks it into the net. Now DJ plays in this right corner, but he has switched over to the left and he's just in before Brian Quinn, and just that little flick of the wrist and the ball goes into the net. We saw it in the minor match. It's very similar goal for Kilkenny.
That's right.
They can just get these goals from nowhere. That set the scene from the very start. That opened the gap that Clare did not want to open, and they're chasing the game since.
They're chasing the game, and they're actually relying on Pete Finnerty on sort of inspirational scores. Like we certainly saw from Colin Lynch and also Gilligan to a lesser degree, but not sort of penetrating the Kilkenny defence, looking for these long-range shots.
Michael Kavanagh, cornerback, is probably the best defender that Kilkenny have, and that tells you that there's ball going into the Clare forward line. But there's nobody in the Clare forward line that's standing up and saying, I'm going to take the game to Clare. I thought when Griffin got the first point that he might be the man to do it, but there's no real structure to the game. James isn't really in the game, and we're relying again on long-range points. We see Colin Lynch here, inspirational as usual, from the middle of the field straight over the bar. But you won't keep scoring like that on a consistent basis. They're also relying on Shawnee McMahon to score long-range frees. That's Colin Lynch's
three so far. That's another look at Colin Lynch's score. Yes.
Again, yeah. And here we see Gilligan. He moved out to wing forward. And again, onto his left-hand side, does the simple thing, looks up and puts the ball over the bar. But the sad and displeasing thing from a Clare point of view is that they're not competing for the ball. Philly Larkin came out and caught 2 balls with his hurley down by his side and his hand in the air. That shouldn't happen at this level. And unless they put pressure on that full back line, Noel Hickey is also having a great game as well in there. Unless they put pressure and get breaking ball, when the one ball that broke around the square and they got it across, Gilligan had a great opportunity for a goal. Now, Clare are behind in this game, but they were 5 points behind after 5 minutes. They're only 6 points behind after 35 minutes. And if they could tighten up the centre of the defence, if Shawnee can put the shackles on Shefflin, and if the guys up front take on the responsibility and say there's 35 minutes left for Clare, there's 30,000 people out there supporting them, and leave everything that they have on the field, well then they're there with a real chance. But the first 10 minutes of the second half is going to be crucial.
Well, certainly from a spectacle point of view, I mean, the way Philly Larkin caught that ball, or one of those balls that Pete Finnerty and laid off the score that Andy Comerford got, I suppose it was probably the score of the day, really.
It was, yeah. Kilkenny are taking on Clare at their own game. The game traditionally Clare play, really hard, really tough, nothing spectacular. Now look at this for a brilliant catch from Philly Larkin, just like he did in the semi-final, breaks out of defence and doesn't hit a wild ball, just a lovely pass out to Andy Comerford, one look up, ball over the bar. Isn't this what we associate with Kilkenny for so many years? But points from 50 and 60 yards, that's what's opened the gap, and that's what Kilkenny are doing. But Clare are totally out of the game at midfield. There is no shield across that half-back line. The half-back line has been left totally open, and Kilkenny are just driving through the centre. They need to crowd that midfield more. That half-forward line, James, Allen, Markham, need to get into the game. Otherwise, it's curtains. You know, they have to do that, and they must do it from the start of the second half.
OK, gentlemen, thank you for the moment. We're going to take another commercial break there while the crowd continue to be entertained here at Croke Park by the Artane Boys Band. Join us again. Yes, the Artane Boys Band and Paul Byron playing Up a Storm here at Croke Park. Kilkenny playing Up a Storm. It's time that Clare played Up a Storm, Ger, and but for a great save by Davy Fitz, they could have been further behind. Ah, yeah. When you're in an All-Ireland final, you just have to get out there and cut loose, and they're just not doing that at the moment. This is what Kilkenny are doing. Henry again, straight through the centre here. Look at that for a brilliant side step off his left-hand side. Now, what a save from Fitzy here. He's right inside on top of him. Fitzy blocks the ball, gets it over the bar. That is one of the really great saves that you'd see in any game, you know, because I know the ball is maybe a bit close to him, but the reflexes he has there, you know, and the nerve Fitzy has, doesn't take his eye off it, blocks it over the bar. But he's lucky he did, because if that goal had gone in, the wheels would have come off the wagon completely, and the game would be over. So they need to get back into that game now. They need to just throw off all the old hang-ups they have, and everybody, the whole 15 of them, need to tear into it from the very start of the second half. Otherwise, Kilkenny will be adding on those points all the way and pull away. Yeah, we've had a little bit of a howl around in the studio here. If you've heard that at home, sorry about that. There's a bit of a howl around, I'd say, in the Clare dressing room at the moment as well.
As Jared said, look, they're 6 points down. You're as well off get beaten by 115 in an All-Ireland final, lose by 6 points. Yeah. It's time the big names come to the fore. Jamesy has to be shown. Alan Markham has to be shown. Niall Gilligan has to be shown. They know where their problem is. The midfield have done really nothing in the first half. Shawnee McMahon is under pressure at centre back. They have to block that out like they did against Waterford. And if that means bringing Tony Griffin into midfield and letting him play as a third, as a fourth half-back line player and stop everything out there, because if Kilkenny continue to run at them, the next time that Henry Shefflin gets a shot on Davy won't stop it.
Well, there's nothing that Gerlach Nairn can do for Clare now except pray for them and keep his fingers crossed. Let's go back again to Ger Canning and to Sir Farrell.
No changes on either team. That's following the substitution after 20 minutes of Ollie Baker, of course, in there for John Redden in the midfield. And all of this in front of an attendance today of 76,254. Familiar pattern here. Derek Ling tearing forward, stopped, however, and Frank Lowen manages to get it out of the danger zone to Ollie Baker. Markham's chasing after it. Philly Larkin going back to try and mind the house. In the end, it's kicked out over the end line there by Michael Kavanagh. 65. But I think we know the key players, even if Noel Skehan didn't exactly mention him going into the break. We're talking about the likes of John Hoyne and Jimmy Coogan, who's got a point so far. Martin Comerford, who's got a point as well. They'll be looking for a big performance from them. And Clare have their own problems all over the forward line. Sean McMahon. Always good for a point or two or three, and on this occasion it's his fourth. That's 4 shots at the target. That's 4 points by Sean McMahon. 111 to 9 points. That 5-point gap still between the teams, Cyril.
He's immaculate though, Gerald, because he's doing this at a consistent level, at a higher day every day. And like, he's keeping Clare in the game.
He is indeed, but his primary function is to stop Henry Shefflin from dominating. Here he comes again, McMahon. Now Gilligan trying to get it out to the wing this time. Tony Griffin here, about to be challenged by JJ Delaney. Good ball in, Markham rises, so too is the fullback there, Noel Hickey. And Hickey sweeping it out towards Andy Comerford. It's tight, it's close, it's intense. Ollie Baker wanted to get it onto his stick that time. Colin Lynch is battling in midfield. Opportunities presenting at the other end here, and Martin Comerford was fouled, jersey tugged. Free in to the Kilkenny Cats. This time it looks like it's going to be Henry Shefflin who will take it. Henry was hoping to get an extra couple of yards there, but the Clare backs moved into position in very disciplined fashion, so there was no extra yardage. Shefflin, low trajectory, but it's just enough to carry, and it's over the bar. Henry Shefflin has got a 5th point. 5 shots at the target for Henry, 100% success. Tony Griffin now playing at right half forward. Still a bit of pressure here, dealt with very capably. Once again, problems presenting themselves. Brian Lohan chasing after Martin Comerford. Outside for Andy Comerford, his brother. Colin Lynch after him. Can he get the ball in? Can't succeed. And it's Frank Lohan who thunders out of there. Trying to give a bit of leadership. Trying to rally the troops. David Ford, Clare needing scores. In towards Markham this time, in on the blind side of Philly Larkin. He's put it wide.
Yeah, it was a chance there, like the ball broke there, and that hit the back of the net to bring Clare back into it.
Well, it was a good chance. Markham was now playing in there in the corner, just got inside Philly Larkin, but just outside. 4 wides now in this match for Clare. James McGarry in this Guinness All-Ireland Hurling final. Once again, Kilkenny try to come forward, stopped by Ollie Baker. Baker with a huge one, but it's a wasted opportunity. And the forwards won't exactly thank him for not giving a decent ball in. So Kilkenny will have the initiative once again from this puck out. All players being prepared. McGarry going towards the right half forward position, towards John Hoyne, who's had a very quiet afternoon so far. Denied this time by Jerry Quinn. Pressure once again over there. This is left here for the man in the corner, Brian Quinn. Back towards Brian Lohan. Tony Griffin trying to make it his, doesn't succeed. Ollie Baker trying to take command, but no firm grip in there. David Ford against Michael Kavanagh, that's going to be a free in. Referee just explaining his actions. Hardly needed any explanation, I think. So Jamesy O'Connor, 1 point from a free so far. But they need a great deal more from him.
Yeah, Gerard, this is not an easy free as such. It's a tight angle.
45 metres out. The angle makes it more difficult, but he has coped with the task really well. But they need enough more from him now in general play. He's one of the leaders in that attack, one of the most experienced. And again, it's a 5-point game. Well, what a goal for Clare would do for the match. The linesman has come onto the field here. Somebody has, yes, it's this loose helmet. Pat Horan just removing it. Kilkenny trying to win possession from this puck out from McGarry. Broken down there. Swept forward by Andy Comerford. Martin Comerford coming out here, giving the leadership up front. In there against Tony Griffin. In there also against David Hoey. Comes back out to Griffin, who's discarded his yellow helmet. Peter Barry trying to shovel it out. 3 Clare men alongside him. It's with Niall Gilligan. Intended for Markham. Won instead by Philly Larkin. Back it comes once more. And David Ford sweeping onto it, getting there ahead of JJ Delaney. And it's Gilligan who goes to ground. It's going to be another free. It's scrappy.
It is, Joe. One of the unsung heroes of Clare today has to be David Hoey so far. He's having a fantastic game, even depossessing that last time. You know, he's played a great game. Kilkenny will feel that was a soft free enough.
Peter Barry is the one who is indicted, and he gets the first yellow card of this All-Ireland final. He was kicked a little while ago. So Gilligan getting the treatment. Jamesy O'Connor preparing to take a free. Medical officer is still on the field. That's the man who's got the yellow card. So a chance to close the gap. 2-pointed frees by Jamesy so far. Gilligan back into the action. Jamesy. The next piece of action is to score from the free, and there's a huge cheer. 3 points for this man from St. Joseph's, Dura Bearfield, just outside Ennis. It's getting tighter.
Yeah, Joe, Clare clawing their way back in. They now have it down to 4 points. It's important for Clare that they don't let Kilkenny score now, because if they can hang in there for the next 5 or 10 minutes, this game could go either way.
There's a particular Clare roar that we all know. They're finding their voice. Stopped on the line by Davy Fitzgerald from the shot by Henry Shefflin. Clare trying to take possession once again. Peter Barry kicking it ahead. Anywhere will do. Swept forward once again. Derek Ling across there, trying to take command. JJ Delaney was in to help, and it's going to be a free. Free to Clare. Well, the team doctor on the field once again. Referee calling a side there. Tony Griffin.
Yeah, Jerry had given the free to Clare. It'd be interesting now to see does he throw in the ball or still give the free to Clare.
Well, the usual practice is to throw it in after a foul has occurred after that. He's taking his name. Looks like there'll be another card. And there is. So a yellow card, 13. The referee is going to throw it in. Well, it's a consistent practice. Clare have it once more. Brian Quinn trying to get it away. Into the breach there is Derek Ling. Is there a chance here for Kilkenny to tag on another score? On his hands and knees was Frank Lohan. Good delivery outside. Away comes Jerry Quinn, the man about whom there was so much doubt beforehand. Up to Markham, taking on Larkin. Bit confusing with a Markham and a Larkin hanging around. Clare have it once again, Jamesy O'Connor. Colin Lynch had just stepped ahead of him. Might get the pass yet. There are 2 Clare men coming onto it. Good hoop there. Richie Mullally doing some splendid work, but still Clare have the opportunity, but it's gone wide. Missed by Colin Lynch. That really would have eaten into Kilkenny's lead.
Yeah, Jerry, it's probably the best passage of play that Clare have had in the last 4 or 5 minutes. They're actually coming into the game. Half-back has really tightened up. Hoy's had a fantastic game, and all of a sudden the trend is beginning to change. Kilkenny need a score now just to keep edging in front.
Almost 11 minutes gone in the second half. Once again, some problems there for Brian Quinn rather. And it's Brian Lohan instead. Swept down, nice little touch right onto it there. Who can gain it? Peter Barry trying to do so. Ollie Baker gets it back. A two-man inside forward line right now. But there, back once again, the very commanding figure of Noel Hickey. Spills into midfield. Baker, the last one he drove outside and wide. Was trying to tee it up for somebody. And that somebody on this case is Tony Carmody. Trying to round Noel Hickey, succeeding. A chance for Clare here. Carmody. Down he goes. Referee says play on, and Philly Larkin is at the end of the movement to sweep it back out the field once again. The right position at the right time, and the right man as well. Larkin, this time it's Markham, it comes off Larkin, it's gone for a 65.
It's all clear here at the moment, they're really putting the pressure on. If they could get a few scores, some of the such.
Larkin has gone down injured, as you can see, and the game is hotting up nicely. This is a bit more like the contest we came to watch here. Larkin was on the line a few minutes ago to save a goal for Kilkenny. This is what happened a little while later. Carmody was coming in, the shoulder delivered by the goalkeeper James McGarry, and this was Larkin with the clearance. Still down injured.
I would think there's a bit to the ball he got that last time he went to block it down. Yeah,
it wasn't Doug's. Yeah. Barry Hickey, one of the officials from Kilkenny, was in there to attend. Clare are about to make changes, I think. It could be Garroyd Considine who'll be coming in. Before all of that, we've got a 65, and you know who is stepping up to take it for Clare. 4 points so far, all long-range frees. It's well directed, it's on target, and it's another point.
They're going to have a game now, Ger.
He's Clare's leading scorer, and there's a goal between them. The goal that separates them coming after 3 minutes. A great run by Henry Shefflin, and a great little tip in by DJ Carey. Clare's best spell. Well, we wondered beforehand whether the first 20 minutes would be the key to the match. Maybe it'll be the last 20 minutes. Markham has hit it well outside and well wide. Real chance.
At the moment, the Clare half forward and an open midfield are beginning to crowd it, and Kilkenny are actually getting nothing through. It'll be interesting to see what Kilkenny are going to do to counteract this.
It's worrying now for Brian Cody and his two selectors. Alan Markham there wearing the green helmet in a top of the left at this stage. Can Kilkenny gain from this here? Sean McMahon was rising up for that one. And the ball, I think in the end, will be thrown in by the referee. Ollie Baker is there to contest with John Hoyne. And that is a point. It's scored by Henry Shefflin. Who else? 6 points his tally.
And his real class, that's the only ball he's got. Got a loose ball here from this try. Just broke out to him. He's there in the blind side, turns and whips it over the bar. Only touch he's got in the second half. Great score.
To some player. Manners come in and taken up command of the centre forward position. John Power had been there, and John is still a very valued member of the panel. Belted in by Eddie Brennan. DJ Carey trying to get away from Brian Quinn. Fouled. And the referee, I think, will be taking another bit of action here. It's going to be Brian Quinn, and I think there could be a booking. Almost certainly the third yellow card of the match.
Yeah, there's a lovely ball in, a low trajectory. Carey was coming for it, and he's well fouled. No doubt about that.
It's a yellow card indeed for Brian Quinn. So Quinn, Tony Griffin, Peter Barry, the men who had been yellow carded in the 2002 final. Henry Shefflin once again belts it high up into the upper tiers of the canal end at Croke Park. It's some performance, and that's what it's all about. 114-12 at this stage, and that 5-point lead has been re-established. Nicely taken. Griffin dropping it in. Philly Larkin having to come back out. Markham has it. Advancing beyond Comerford. Played inside here. David Ford. Just about kept in play. Falling figure there of Tony Carmody. Against him is the fullback Noel Hickey. Good clearance, good play. Remained calm. Everybody going up for that one. It's John Hoyne who's trapped it through the centre. DJ Carey, the Dodger himself. After him there was Ollie Baker. DJ steadying himself, turning it in beautifully and putting it over the bar, and he's now got a goal and 4 points.
That's a fantastic score, Jerry. Couldn't catch it again. He had taken it twice in his hand, and he's a genius no matter what you say. You just won't replace this guy. Kilkenny, now watch this. He can't catch it again. Just steadies up, rattles it off the cuff. A beautiful score on the volley. Fantastic. 5 shots by DJ, 5 scores. We were saying it during the semi-final, but he's the man who had the courage to come back into the Kilkenny colours. Ollie Baker anxious to make a huge presence in this second half. Good catch. He was fouled. Free in. But there's always been this gap, almost from the very start of the match, between the teams. And this man is about to come in, and what a roar he will get, as always. Charlie Carter. Meanwhile, Jamesy strikes it inside the right-hand post, and he's put it over the bar for his 4th point of the game. Clare now need to re-establish themselves once again. But when they come back, it always seems that Kilkenny can take the ball up the field and get another point or two. Yeah, that gap is still there. What Clare really need is a goal, but they're still in this game. A little bit of a breeze behind them, and they won't die.
Ollie Baker putting on the pressure. Once again, it's Henry Shefflin. Well, there was no way that Jimmy Coogan could keep that one in. And now a change has got to be made. And Coogan, who made such an impression the last day, getting a goal and a point, is off. And coming in will be Charlie Carter. Into his familiar spot, I'm sure, at top of the right. So the 2 Golan men are up there in that inside forward line, DJ Carey and Charlie Carter. And Garroyd Considine, I think, may be in soon as well. That's for Clare. Frank Lohan, meanwhile. Jamesy O'Connor was watching it the whole way. Richie Mullally in there. Andy Comerford. Swept beautifully forward there by Derek Ling. Beautiful hurling in towards Martin Comerford against Brian Lohan. Advancing with menace. Chance of a goal, missed. Sting taken out of it. And away by Brian Lohan. Dangerous moment for the Clare backs. They could ill afford to concede another goal. But it's once again Kilkenny have taken up the challenge. Attempting to be dominant in key areas of the field. Brian Lohan. Well, players like Lohan and Sean McMahon have been put to the pin of their collars this evening. But they are still there. Still an opportunity as Frank Lohan tries to get in a decent clearance. Needing assistance, getting it there from Jerry Quinn. Back to Lohan. Great catch. Wonderful play by Peter Barry. Derek Ling. Going for it himself. He's given it everything, and that's enough. You can't do any better than that. Following a great catch, a fine pass. This was it again here, flicked beautifully forward here. Driven from quite a distance out by Derek Ling from Emeralds, which of course is in Hurlingford. He'd be one of the few men from that particular club, I think, to win an All-Ireland medal if it happens today. Had 2 famous uncles who played in the past. Garroyd Considine is coming in. Cyril Lyons giving the instruction, and there'll be David Ford who will come off. John Hoyne is also about to make way. Player coming on will be Brian McAvoy. So changes aplenty. McAvoy's into the match. So what can Clare do? Not an awful lot right now. Kilkenny once again, after slackening their influence on the game, have come back. But here is Brian Lohan, one man who never lets the side down. Not a great pass. Brian McAvoy, first touch, first chance. Anxious to make an impact, and he does it instantly. Great point by Brian McAvoy. 170 to 13 points. And I'm sure his well-known fiancée, the Camogie star Tracy Millay, will have appreciated that. Great score. Can Clare come back? Is there any way back? Right now, it's the fullback once again, Noel Hickey. Sound as could be. Jamesy O'Connor touches it out, but it's going to be a line ball to Kilkenny. 22.5 minutes gone in this second half. Is it going to be a fourth title for Clare? Doesn't look likely right now. Or perhaps a 26th for Kilkenny, who are in a very nice situation. Richie Mullally about to hit this one in. Missed by Frank Lohan. Not by Martin Comerford. Trying to set up DJ Carey. Causing problems as ever there for Brian Quinn. Steadying himself again, sending it in towards Henry Shefflin. 2 men on him. Brian Lohan taking command once again, driving it away to the right half-forward position. Derek Ling got that great point a little while ago, beyond Henry Shefflin this time. Hit away, out of danger. But as soon as they manage to do that, it comes straight back into the Clare backs once again. Peter Barry scooping it away neatly. Out to Richie Mullally. Good combined play. But again, it's Comerford on to Brian McAvoy. Just looking around, picking out Charlie Carter. He'd love to score. Can he do so now? He can. I'm sure he'll say that'll do very nicely indeed.
Yeah, he thanks McAvoy. It's unusual to see that McAvoy is actually taken up centre forward, but these boys are out to prove a point.
That was a very fine point indeed by Charlie Carter. She's pleased. Carter is on Frank Lohan at this stage. Meanwhile, it's Jamesy O'Connor. Billy Larkin out to it first time ahead of Alan Markham. Clare's line ball. One of the amazing statistics when you look at the amount of time that has elapsed, 60 minutes nearly gone. Kilkenny has only had 1 wide in the entire match.
Unreal, Gerard. I'd say it's never happened before, but this is not the end of time.
David Hoey dropping it in. They need something. Markham trying to set Jamesy O'Connor up. Having to go back. Forced away from goal. Colin Lynch striking, and it's Colin Lynch who's put it over the bar. It's his second point. Well, we've been saying it for some time now. What this match needs, what Clare need, is a goal. Good pass across there, and nicely taken by Colin Lynch. Andrew Quinn is about to come in place of Alan Markham. Quinn, who is from Tulla. Not a good day for Alan Markham, didn't score. 3 of the forwards, in fact, who started the match have failed to get on the score sheet. They've been heavily dependent on the long-range frees of Shoney McMahon and the closer frees of Jamesy O'Connor. most of their scores from my notes here have come from frees. They need something. That's Baker. That'll do. Ollie Baker, the substitute, with his first point. 118-15, 6 between them. Bit more breeze around at this stage now, and it's supporting Clare in this second half. But only about 9 or 10 minutes left. McGarry going to the left half forward position this time. Broken down there by Tony Griffin. And there was a chop down. Ollie Baker is the one who's being indicted by the referee. So yet another free. In fact, just looking through the notes once again here, well, we have a moment. Now, Clare have got 9 of their points from place balls, 5 to Sean McMahon, 4 to James O'Connor. From open play, very, very little. DJ Carey right at the centre of the field. It's a huge run. And that has gone wide. Martin Comfort is in arguing. DJ is unhappy about it as well. Hard to see from our angle here.
Kilkenny forwards, Ger thought that was over, every one of them.
Davy Fitzgerald, the long puck champion from the Cooley Mountains. Clare have it one more time. Griffin's shot blocked down. This is Richie Mullally. Kilkenny denied that point a little while ago, which they felt they might just get. Back there is Brian Lowen, partly blocked. Swept inside, dangerous ball, Shefflin! Henry Shefflin, 28 minutes gone in the second half, and that should be enough to secure the title for the Cats. That's a goal and 7 points now for Henry Shefflin. Martin Comerford played it across the face of the goal, lovely well-timed run, and Shefflin buries it in past Davy Fitzgerald, who's beaten for the second time in the game. Good goal by Shefflin. Hard to see any way back at this stage. Sean McMahon still giving it everything, and he has rifled it over the bar.
Beautiful crossing ball for that goal from Comfort. Shefflin just got a little touch, and no way could Davy could get to it. You know, the class forwards of Kilkenny are beginning to tell.
We're taking a look at it again here. Comerford setting it up beautifully, but the little touch, deft flick, and beautifully put in. They're happy.
There's also a ball which Comfort blocked down from Brian Lowen, one that you'd imagine is going to be clear.
Shefflin's got it again. What a match he's playing. Every All-Ireland final turns up a real hero, real star. And DJ, even though he's knocked in the back by Shawnee McMahon, gets in his shot and he's put it over the bar. A goal and 5 points now. DJ Carey starring as ever. Almost 30 minutes are gone and it's 2-19 to 15 points. It's a very good lead for Kilkenny. It should see them through all the way past the winning post. Ollie Baker is down in need of some attention. I was mentioning there a little while ago that Davy Fitzgerald was the long puck champion. In fact, it's the second time he has won that title. August Monday, I think, is the day up on the Coolies. And he's the great goalkeeper who has won it in their time. Just noticed while we watch Ollie Baker here that some of the Clare fans have decided that is it. Might as well get to the cars. It's a long journey back to the Banner County. I don't think the Gardaí are going to leave. They've got a job to do still. Just hasn't been Clare's day. Got off to a horrible start. That goal after just 3 minutes. It was the lead that Clare needed at that stage. And indeed, for the first 10 minutes, they were always chasing it, have been chasing it. ever since.
Yeah, Joe, that's what everyone predicted really, that if Kilkenny made a good start, Clare would get it very hard to catch up.
They've been playing catch-up the whole time. Kilkenny once again trying to do something here. Andrew Quinn didn't get it. It's Andy Comerford, the Kilkenny captain, looking forward to lifting the Liam McCarthy Cup. McMahon still thundering forward, trying to do something. James E. O'Connor here. Lobbed in there towards Niall Gilligan, taken instead by Philly Larkin. Gilligan 2 points in the game so far. Larkin has been good in his marking job, essentially on Alan Markham while he was on the field. That's a good shot. It's one back, but at this stage, I'm afraid, it is quite academic as to what happens. Substitute Garrod Considine will remember, but at least he scored in the final. Here he is again, coming in on the wings. Good shot, nice point. Too little, I'm afraid, and far too late. 3 minutes of normal time still to go. Referee will probably add on an extra minute or two. We've had the doctors on. That's Tony Griffin for Clare, playing very, very deep indeed. Well, a gap, as you can see, of 2 goals and 2 points, and the referee now just telling Pat Horn here how many minutes to add on. Scoring chances in the game, 26 scoring chances made by Clare, 24 by Kilkenny, and they've taken 21 of them. Phenomenal. Not a play there off Garrod Considine, or was it? No, it's got to be Clare sideline ball. David Hoey met it well. Billy Larkin always plays well, very rarely disappoints. Gilligan tries to roll it up. Coming through onto it is James O'Connor. Can Clare get a late goal just to change the final complexion? They're going for it. Well saved indeed by James McGarry. But overall, a very satisfying performance by the vast majority of these Kilkenny players. They've enjoyed it, and they'll enjoy their celebration. That last shot was by Martin Comerford. Ollie Baker still limping around out there. Decent enough shot there. Andrew Quinn trying to rifle it in, but didn't succeed. It was a final, really, that has been dominated by one team, and that team is Kilkenny. Their scoring rate, simply amazing. Aidan Moxibna just holding up the play for the moment. Tuckout will be taken all over again. Ollie Baker on his way off. Colin Flynn there assisting him. There'll be 3 minutes of added time to be played. Started the game on the bench, Ollie, and he's going to finish it there as well. An unsatisfactory afternoon for Clare. Winners of 2 finals, as we know, in the late 90s, mid to late 90s. They got within a goal. That's about as close as I can remember. But then Kilkenny simply accelerated their rate of scoring once again. And the cup will be heading down into Kilkenny sometime tomorrow evening. McGarry. Once again, it's going to be a Clare sideline ball. Sadness for Ollie Baker having to make his way off. James O'Connor didn't have the best of evenings. Philly Larkin and his colleagues coped really, really well. It's a terrific full back line when you look at it. Michael Cavan, Noel Hickey and Philly Larkin, all of them so accomplished, give really little or nothing away.
Yeah, Jared, they've been like that all year. Very, very good hurlers.
of the Clare full forward line that started. Only Niall Gilligan managed to score. He got 2 points. Once again, it's DJ Carey. He's got a goal and 6 points. And there's still about 2 minutes to play. Great performance by Kilkenny. And John Power, I think, is going to come in for the last minute or so. That's lovely to see. He's been such a wonderful servant of Kilkenny hurling. Eddie Brennan is the man who's making way. Just listen to the cheer. It's been a day when Brian Cody has been able to bring in John Power, Charlie Carter, Brian McAvoy. Wonderful, wonderful players. And he's going straight into full forward.
There'll be some clash in there if the ball goes in high.
Well, John's a very, very disciplined fellow. Doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, always looks after himself. Again, Clare looked for a late score here, and they managed to get it. A late point by the substitute Gearoid Considine, so he's now got 2 points in this year's final. All a bit academic, however, with this very handsome lead that Kilkenny are enjoying. It's surely a winning lead, there could be no doubt about it. Clare have had to give second best to the best team in the country this year. Almost reached John Power that time. Held up again here by Jerry Quinn. Nicely over to Colin Lynch. Low inside, again it reaches the substitute. And it's another score. This time Andrew Quinn. Couple of late points, changing the complexion slightly, but the goals have been absolutely central to the story of the 2002 final. I don't think there's much in it. The referee is calling for the ball. It's all over. Kilkenny are very deserving champions. Champions for the 27th time. The Liam McCarthy Cup is going down with Andy Comerford and his pals. Brian Lohan has done it again. At times they were quite sensational. Mickey Flynn there, who was triple jump champion on 6 occasions, has trained the team to perfection. They've been coached superbly by Brian Cody, aided and abetted by Johnny Walsh and Noel Skehan. It's their day. Kilkenny, one of the great aristocratic powers of hurling, have managed to prevail. This is the joy, this is the feeling of victory. And Brian Cody, I saw him do that little jig after they beat Tipperary in the semi-final. He's entitled to his little dance, and they'll be dancing all over Kilkenny. The fans will enjoy it here, and what a welcome back they're going to get. It should be a magnificent place in the Marble City tomorrow night. They deserve everything that all the fans are prepared to give them. They worked hard for their victory. They've experienced disappointment from time to time. They, of course, are league champions, but more importantly, they are now Leinster and All-Ireland champions. They have done it all. It's someday. That's Eddie Brennan there, withdrawn towards the end of the game, sharing the moment with Richie Mullally from the Glenmore Club. Deserved winners, no question or doubt about that.
Yeah, Joe, it was a final night that Kilkenny, from the once they got the first goal, always looked like winning. And like, they behave very well because they're very, very hot favourites going in. It's hard enough to live up to that tag. Terrible pressure on Brian Cody, but they delivered.
Well, the goals were vital. After 3 minutes, it was DJ Carey. 28 minutes of the second half. The match was finished as a contest when Henry Shefflin scored.
That was some performance, Brian Cody. You must be very proud.
Well, we're All-Ireland champions, Marty, and that's everything to any hurler. And it's everything to us, and we're just delighted. The
standard of hurling there by Kilkenny was just superb. It was beautiful to watch. But let's just talk about the match. You got a great start.
Yeah, we got a fabulous cushion early on. We got a goal from DJ. And, you know, that was important because after half-time, the pressure we were put under was phenomenal by Clare. But we knew they were going to come. We knew there was going to be a massive storm to weather. We weathered it, we held on, we fought, we dug in, we weathered it eventually, and then we started to hurl again. You know, it's the result is everything, no, Marty. You know, the game is won, we're all Ireland champions, and it's fabulous.
You showed your character, though, because when Clare came within 3 points, you responded magnificently again.
Yeah, well, I mean, you don't win All-Ireland finals without character. You might as well stay at home if you don't have that. This team has it, and has it in abundance, in fairness, from 1 to 30. They needed it, Clare had it, and we had it, and, you know, I have no idea if it was a great game or not, but certainly, as far as I'm concerned, it's a fabulous game.
This group of players, the level of skill is just, you know, it's breathtaking at times. And particularly if I mentioned DJ today, the 1 point he scored purely with the stick.
Yeah, he's handy. Yeah, he just, I suppose, defied logic, and he came back and he produced what he did last day again, outstanding. But team was outstanding again and again and again. I'm saying that I thought our defence was absolutely massive. You know, and again, the forwards will get it, and DJ, Henry and the lads, brilliant, Mark and Comfort, the whole lot of them. Midfielders outstanding. And if you can't build from the back, you're in big trouble. I think that our defence was superb.
To win All-Ireland, so you have to have a lot of talent, a depth of talent. To bring on Brian McAvoy and Charlie Carter for them to score shows you what was in Kilkenny.
Well, I think it's fair to say they'd be on every account team in the country. Outstanding players. And absolutely, really tough look on not to start. But that's the way it works. And the boys didn't start today. But again, where would we be without them? They came on, they contributed handsomely, and really important scores again.
Congratulations, you really deserve this All-Ireland. Well done. Congratulations. Joining me as well is Michael Kavanagh. Michael, great team. I complimented you to Noel Skehan at half-time because yourself and Philly Larkin were outstanding in that first half.
Yeah, we're under pressure. We're kind of keeping the ball away from Peter Barry, and we're kind of playing the wings a bit more than usual. And we're kind of under pressure there right in the first half, but lucky enough the goals came our way, and they probably were the telling difference. And DJ was on fire down their end, and everything he seemed to put over the bar.
You seem to be in control all the way through.
Yeah, things were going well. We had the lead and we kind of never gave it away, and we always had a 4 or 5 point cushion, and I don't think they ever got any closer than 4 or 5 points to us, but it was always a help to us. But all over the field, lads hurled well, you know, and backed each other up, and we knew coming up here was going to be a tough game, and we came up with the goods.
Well, congratulations, you deserve your All-Ireland medal, Michael. Joining me as well as DJ Carey. DJ, congratulations. It certainly was worth coming back, wasn't it?
Oh, it's heavy going, Marty, and you know, I visited a couple of very sick people during the week, and you know, and they sent all their best wishes. And I suppose I'm in the whole of my health, and 8 weeks ago I wasn't playing, Marty, and you know, when I look at some of those people, I'm absolutely delighted. And I just want to, and I'll bet off of Mike Sullivan in Tavy Cons in New York as well, so he'll be home in a few weeks, I'll collect it.
Well done, DJ Carey, congratulations.
Okay, Marty.
Well, the presentation of the cup is taking place once again back on the Hogan stand. Sean McCaig, the president, of course.
Go away to such a guard and a soft that they have brass Portugal of Yabi. I was going away to specialists in the Furna League at Lock Parks of Brave Comothers in Lena. The Lane Doubt now grow and grew again in this far and you. Tassagan will Gima Erin and Clara, and he poured off Gima Varaka. You're being late good in Jagagat. You can all do Veogalora and shouldn't going to play her work it. I beat Kilkenny Garawas in you. Agus Tharma Rock will Cockard get so create all the Huckle. Agus Marshin took it to Anna Hassottum and Corn Vicarhi of Runanish, our captain Andy Comerford.
Well, what a day for Andy. Man who came back from London, kissing the cup, taking it proudly home. Kilkenny the champions for the 27th time ever. And they well deserve it.
Arúchtarán, coming Luke Haskell. Dina Kilkenny get foot on down. Tá ná Zorm an Corn Lee McCarthy. A Glockad on Fern Kilkenny. We may have lost 2 All-Irelands, but them ghosts have been firmly diminished here today. Yes! There's a few people have to be thanked here to bring this cup back to Kilkenny. Our manager, Brian Cody. Great manager. Our selectors, Johnny Welch and Noel Skehan. the backroom staff in total. But most of all, I'd like to thank the 30 players, the guys who come in with us throughout the year. It was heartbreaking for some people, but really it's down to the players, and they've done the hard work from last November to bring back the McCarthy Cup to Kilkenny. I'd like to thank our sponsors, Glanbia. A special thanks to my club, O'Loughlin Gales. Only for them guys, I wouldn't be up here today, and the players from O'Loughlin Gales. Thank you, PC. To Clare, what can be said? They gave us one hell of a rattle there today, and each and every one of them done their county proud and their clubs. And I'd like to offer 3 cheers for a great Clare team. Hip hip. Hip hip. Hip hip. Thank you very much.
Congratulations and celebrations when I tell everyone that you're in love with me. Congratulations and jubilations. I want the world to know how happy I can be. Who would believe that I can be happy and contented? But that was in the middle of this before I met you, before I let you come into my heart. Congratulations and celebrations.
Wow, danger, DJ.
So then, congratulations rings out through the ground here in celebration for Kilkenny and their All-Ireland success. Andy Comerford, proud captain, paying tribute to all of those involved and paying tribute as well to the vanquished Clare team. I'd say Andy would be able to jump over the bar to O'Loughlin Gales and land inside Nolan Park itself this evening. He's so delighted. John Power, who's been such a great part of Kilkenny teams down through the years, he also had his moment too, as did Charlie Carter as they do go through a shot. And Peter Barry, who's been such a fine player for Kilkenny at centre-back all season long. Philly Larkin as well. They're all excited and delighted, as the saying goes, this evening. And DJ getting a special word of congratulations from the President and her husband Martin as well. But I suppose while there are smiles all round for Kilkenny, I suppose Gerlach Nan, that has been very hard to take. You couldn't doubt in the end Kilkenny were the better team, but it's a huge disappointment for you.
Well, it is, but we all echo those sentiments of congratulations to Kilkenny. The team with the greatest speed, the greater skill, the greater craft, and also terrific character. You know, when Clare came back 112 to 12 points, Henry Shefflin, as he did in the last game against Tipperary, grabbed the ball, put it over the bar, DJ won a free, put it over the bar, and then DJ got a wonder point. And after that, they just pulled away. But there was no question about the better team today. Kilkenny were far better all over the field. Brilliant full back line. Philly Larkin, Noel Hickey were absolutely out of this world. Controlled the game completely. As Brian Cody said there, your defence is absolutely vital. Henry scored 8 points. DJ scored 7. That's 15 points. All you need is for the rest to chip in with a few more. But they are a serious team. And you can bring on the like of Brian McAvoy, Charlie Carter, John Power. 2 of them scored points. You know, they are a really, really great team. They showed all the skills of the game today. And if anyone is to beat Kilkenny, planning now, they better be able to win that ball in the air.
Yes.
You know, that is the big difference. They're winning possession first time, winning the ball in the air, something Clare were poor at today. But the thing that disappointed me most about Clare was, apart from those 10 minutes of the second half, there wasn't the same drive or fire or life about him at all as you usually associate with Clare. And actually, we were lucky to escape just with a 7-point defeat.
Well, I suppose the way Kilkenny have played over the last couple of years, indeed, Pete Finnerty, but particularly this year, they've squeezed the life out of most of their opponents.
Well, Galway created something last year, and I think it's going to haunt us for quite some length of time. It's going to haunt all the hurling world. They have woken up this Kilkenny team. They had problems at centre back, they had problems at midfield, they had a few forwards that were there that shouldn't really have been there. And Andy Comfort said it in his speech. When did you ever hear of a Kilkenny team training in November for an All-Ireland final? And that's what they did. They went back, they restructured the team, they found a new centre back in Peter Barry, they found a new midfield player in Derek Lynn, Henrik Shefflin took centre forward, Martin Comfort took full forward. But it was a tremendous performance. But when you look at Clare, they battled hard for the first 15 minutes of the second half, but they failed to make any impact because their forwards didn't score. And when you're playing a team of the calibre of Kilkenny, you'll hold them for 15 minutes, but you will not hold them for an entire game. And up to about 32 minutes in the game, no Clare forward had scored in the second half, and you won't survive in an All-Ireland final doing that. But a tremendous effort as well by Clare in the second half to be able to bring it back to 3 points. But when you have calibre of a player like Charlie Carter sitting on the sideline, Brian McAvoy sitting on the sideline, Stephen Graham is still there, and you can call on those first touch over the bar. It was sheer class there for a finish. It was exhibition. Phil Larkin in defence, Peter Barry at centre back. They're a tremendous team.
Well, sheer class for a finish. Sheer class for a start as well in this game for Kilkenny, the way they played all day long. We'll talk more about this game and talk to some of the people involved after this commercial break. As the panel were saying before the break, some fantastic performances in that match, and you get the chance to choose who the man of the match will be from this afternoon's game. The Waterford Crystal Trophy awaits to be presented tonight on our nighttime programme on the Sunday game, and those are the numbers to ring. It's 1550 717 114. The calls cost 74 cents per minute, and if you're ringing from Northern Ireland, it's 0906 614 2048. Those calls are 60 pence per minute. You have a little while to make up your mind if you haven't made it up already, because those phone lines are open until 8 o'clock this evening. So that's the scene at Croke Park in the aftermath of this year's All-Ireland final, and a look at the statistics. Kilkenny winning the game then by 220 to Clare's 19 points. At 19 points, I suppose, a reasonable score in its own right, but just not good enough today. Very few frees in the course of this match, and in fact 3 yellow cards issued as well, but generally very sporting All-Ireland final. Aidan McSivna didn't have too much to worry about during the course of that game. Now we have an interview with you. We were mentioning Peter Barry, Kilkenny's centre-back, a little earlier on. What a fantastic year he's had. He's talking to us right now.
Peter Barry, this Kilkenny team has certainly proven a point this afternoon.
Yeah, we won an All-Ireland 2 years ago, and we came back up last year, and things didn't go well for us against Galway. Fair play to Galway. But we felt we had a point to prove, and we started back November the 20th, and we worked hard all year. We got lads in, and they worked hard with us. We came up here every day to do a job, and we did a job, and we're absolutely delighted. It hasn't sunk in yet, but the boys are doing lap of honour now, and I want to go with them.
One last question. You were always in control, though. Did you think that?
I felt it was an awful struggle now. We know the puck-outs were going everywhere, and they were winning ball and keeping with us and that, you know, and we never really got into a fluency maybe until halfway through the second half. But once we did, we got going and we got picked off some great scores, you know. Phil Larkin was great, and he kept beating back everything they could throw at him, and DJ was great, Henry was great, Martin Comfort, you know, and we all plugged in, and that was the most important, and we got there in the end.
Congratulations. You're entitled to go for your lap of honour. Well done.
See you.
Oh, he certainly is in the rainbow over Croke Park there as well on this special day for the Kilkenny County. Pete Finnerty, in the game the last day against Tipperary, Tip made a right burst in the middle of the second half to try and get back in the game, and they got a goal out of it. Clare really went at this thing as well in the second half, but Kilkenny just pushed them back again with some fantastic scores.
They did, yeah. And in fairness to Clare, they got 3 goal opportunities early in the second half. Had they converted one of those, it might have been closer at the end of the day, but at the end of everything, Kilkenny have this forwards that are able to score, whether it's from 80 yards or whether it's from the corner, as we saw with DJ steadying the ball on his stick and putting over the bar. Here we see a magnificent point by Jerry Kling, breaking ball in the middle of the field, onto it quickly, looks up, straight over the bar.
One of these young players in this Kilkenny team, and showing such maturity.
That's a killer. Like, Clare had nobody at the other end of the field that were able to do that from inside 50 yards, and here's Kilkenny able to do it from the middle of the field when they didn't really need that, because you had guys inside that were equally able to score as well.
Now, a more experienced player, of course, over the years has been Brian McAvoy. Came on as a sub and did this.
Well, this is it. Like, this is the quality that they have. Brian McAvoy can feel aggrieved that he didn't start, because I thought he might have started before Jimmy Coogan. But again, now Kilkenny have a player on the sideline that can come on, first touch, straight over the bar. He did it as well in the Leinster final when he was introduced. He scored 2 points in play. Charlie Carter came on, he scored a point with his first touch. They have a magnificent panel. And when you have forwards like that, and young forwards now with the experience of Coogan and Eddie Brennan have started an All-Ireland final, when they look in the walls of Kilkenny where the photograph is displayed, their face is going to be there. They're All-Ireland champions. They'll be recognisable first time, and that's going to even give them more confidence when they come back here next year.
For all the pushing that Clare were doing, and they were, I mean, they certainly didn't lack for all the determination and all the heart that went with it. But then the other thing happened, the Shefflin goal, that finally said goodnight to this game for them.
When Ollie Baker came on, he made a huge difference at Clare. He fought for everything. He was like the Ollie of old. He has the same pace. But when people are voting for the man of the match, they shouldn't forget this fella here, Martin Connor. He gave Lohan a ton of time today. Look at it here, he blocked him down. ball across the goals, a perfect ball across the edge square. There is Henry coming across at full pace. Touch on it, but he gets enough to put it into the corner. Comerford was magnificent today. He dragged Brian Lohan, he did the right thing, dragged him away from goal, and then got the ball in fast. That's a perfect ball for a forward running in, and he just gets a tip of it into the corner of the net. But, you know, we always talk about Henry Shefflin and DJ Carey and all those, but Martin Comerford has made some impact on this Kilkenny team this year, himself and Derek Lang. And all those young players that Brian Cody found from last year. Cody didn't believe last year it was a fluke result against Galway.
Yes,
he believed that this team needed serious surgery, and he set about it in the league. And he brought on all these new players and kept them on for the championship and told them he'd keep them on if they produced the goods. They produced it. Martin Comerford is one of them. Derek Lang is another. It's a sign of a brilliant manager. And no, I never doubted from the first day he was appointed, because I knew him so well, that Cody is some hurling man.
Well, it's also a sign, I suppose, Pete Finnerty, of brilliant players, because come with the hour, come with the man. People had doubted one or two of these players coming into it and saying kind of, oh, maybe they're not quite the quality of that had gone before them. Now we know that probably they are.
Yeah, well, DJ had a fantastic start with the early goal, but he showed in the last 4 weeks that DJ Carey is interested in hurling. And go back to Brian Cody, I felt that there was something wrong between DJ and management for the last few years. He hasn't been himself.
There was something wrong in the first couple of minutes of this game today.
Henry Shefflin, he just tore at Shawnee McMahon in the first couple of minutes of the game, and that was always going to be a crucial clash. Here we see DJ, he swapped from one corner into the other. Davy comes for the ball, and there it is, into the side of the net. Nothing Davy could do about it, but that was the start that Clare needed, not Kilkenny. But DJ got the monkey off his back, because people have said that he has had bad All-Ireland finals down through the year. DJ Carey is a class player, and whatever Brian Cody has done, they have gelled together. DJ, in the interviews before the game, was saying he's going to go on for another few years. Last year he was saying, well, this is probably my last year. I read in The Independent in an article of Vincent Hogan that he was finished, and that's only 2 months ago. But Cody got back the whole team. He wanted DJ Carey there, he wanted United Kilkenny, and that's what he has now.
OK, well, earlier this year in January in Buenos Aires, we were socialising with Andy Comerford, the Kilkenny captain. It was all great fun and games in those days, but he certainly put the business in during this summer, and now he has led Kilkenny to the All-Ireland title. He's talking to us.
Andy Comerford, I'm sure you're relieved at this stage that this All-Ireland final is over, but absolutely delighted.
Oh, sure, words, Marty, hasn't really sunk in yet. We're delighted. We were on edge there all morning, and we had a bus driver there, and he brought us up an hour earlier from Kilkenny, and we were kind of on edge there, I say, before the game, but thankfully when the throw-in came, we got down to business fairly rapid, you know.
I mentioned it to Brian Cody. He seemed to be in control right from the off.
Yeah, well, we've seen what Galway kind of done to Clare, you know, a good start, and it was vital for us to get a good start there. Thankfully, DJ sneaked in for an old goal there. He's good for 1 or 2. Normally, you know, didn't bring him back for the good of his health. But he's a great man, and really we had 30 players, you know, and from the word go when we started off training, we had 30 players there, and each of them, you know, I said that I was the captain, but it was definitely a 30-man effort for us for the whole year. Like, we called on new players there, and the media were kind of asking, who are these guys? Well, they all know who they are today, you know. JJ Delaney was outstanding, all the backs, all the guys were outstanding, and it put Kilkenny definitely back on the map today, and that's what we wanted to do.
It really was a team performance though, Andy, because while we applaud DJ Carey and admire him up front in the forwards, Michael Kavanagh, Philly Lark and Noel Hickey.
Sure, like, days of individualism were gone, you know, under Brian Cody. We knew that everyone had a responsibility, you know, and we took it by the scruff of the neck today, you know, and each one of us had a job going out, and there was no one, you know, had to cover for anyone else. It was a question of a back picking up a forward, and if he ran out to midfield, he was going to pick him up. There was no covering for anyone. Space was immaterial. We really campaigned on that this year, that if a back was dragged out, he was going to follow his man, and there was no individual heroes. It was a 15-man effort, and definitely the boys that were called on, you know, they've done the job for us as well. Charlie and Brian McAvoy, really, I was delighted for him. You know, it's a very difficult situation that they were left in to be called ashore and dropped really for the final, but I said to him before the game, like, that they are going to be called in, and definitely Brian McAvoy and Charlie had a big bear, and, you know, coming in at a vital stage for us and popping over points, which were excellent points for us, you know.
I've never seen a team so delighted and so proud at the final whistle before. It really meant a lot to Kilkenny.
We took a lot of unfair criticism in the media there in 98 and 99, you know, and we were determined, like we were saying that we were after winning 5 Leinsters, but when we look back on it, we had only one All-Ireland, like one, and it was definitely a question of you know, getting back and getting the All-Ireland on the mantelpiece, and that's what we really were determined to do. I know I took a bit of criticism there for the Leinster campaign, but it was definitely the All-Ireland was for me the one, you know, and we got our shop in order for the All-Ireland, and in Kilkenny that's really all that counts, and I apologise to anyone that if we didn't give a good enough speech there for the Leinster, but it was definitely the All-Ireland that we wanted, you know, and come hell or high water we were going to win it, you know, and fair play to Clare, like, you could see it in their eyes, they weren't better until the final whistle, and they have great men there. Shawnee McMahon come up there near the end, you know, and popped over a great pint, and I feel sorry for really the Clare boys because they are an unbelievable committed team, you know, and we definitely put our hands up for Clare, you know.
Well, congratulations. Well done. Fully deserved.
Thanks a lot. Okay.
Yeah, Andy McAvoy, fine player, nice guy as well. Now, that's what the players think, that's what the panel think. What do some of the punters leaving Croke Park today think? Well, let's find out right now.
Poor game from a neutral point, but from ours, Kilkenny, brilliant win. Super team.
Very disappointed. They weren't there at all. I don't know what happened to them. We have to come back again next year, please God.
And you came up against a very good Kilkenny team today.
Oh, we did. They were fantastic. They really were. TJ, we'll have to send him home, I think.
Well, I think the best team deserved to win. With Clare, fair play to them. They had a great old heart and they brought a bit of colour into it. And the best of luck to them. But the Cats are back by, and the Miners as well. And up Ballyragged.
Yeah, good game enough. Yeah, 2 good teams. But just, we could have a couple of goals got there, like, it was close enough. But,
will Clare be back?
Oh, they'll be back. Yeah, the young team, they'll be back. And a good team. Yeah.
The better team won.
Kilkenny worthy champions, yeah?
Oh, they were the better team. We have no complaints.
And what do you think went wrong for Clare today?
I think actually we met a better team on the day. But we have no quibs about it. We're waiting fair and square. Simple as that.
And will Clare be back?
Join the street. We'll have a lot of rebuilding to do, I'd say.
Oh, great game.
Came here from Australia.
Yeah, great game. I come home from Australia to see it. Yeah, it was a definitely tough game, but we really had the game all the time, though, really, didn't we?
Kilkenny worthy champions, yeah?
Oh, I'd say, yeah. Well, you were saying I come home from Australia, so it was well worth coming over to see him, wasn't it?
Well, I'd say it was, and he's going to make it even more well worthwhile before the night is out, I have no doubt at all. That's where we leave it then. My thanks to the panel, and indeed, first of all, our commiserations once again to Ger Loughnane. You've had great days. Ger, today wasn't one of them, but I'm sure there will be again. Pete Finnerty, thank you very much for your thoughts on today's game as well. Now, let me just leave you with a couple of reminders about a couple of things. First of all, the man of the match phone numbers. You pick the man of the match. It's as simple as that. Ring those numbers, 1550 717114 at 74 cents per minute. If you're calling from Northern Ireland, it's 0906 614 2048. Those phone lines are open until 8 o'clock tonight. And we'll be naming our man of the match from that game in our later programme tonight. That's at 9:30. Highlights of the game. We'll also be visiting the Winners Hotel, so I do hope that you can join us for that. Well, so then, 4 teams came to Croke Park today with dreams of winning All-Ireland titles at minor and senior. Only 2 could win, and in fact, it's just 1 county which will celebrate tonight. The Cats have done the double.